Come and get Robert Reese. Come and get them high facts with Robert Reese. Come and get them high facts with Robert Reese. Come and get them high facts with Robert Reese. High facts. Come and get them high facts. Get them high facts with Robert Reese. Come and get them high facts. Come and get them high facts. Come and get them high facts with Robert Reese. High facts. Robert Reese. High facts. High facts. Robert Reese. High facts. Gig economy. Robert Reese. News channel. The gig economy. News channel. Hot facts with Robert Reese. Hot facts with Robert Reese. Hot facts. 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 Hey. With Robert Reese. Come and get them hot facts. Hot facts. Hot facts. Robert Reese. Hey. Gig economy. News channel. Hot facts with Robert Reese. Sit back, relax, and listen. Come on. Get these hot facts. K-Reese 007 for hot facts with Robert Reese. Thank you for tuning in. Hot facts, hot facts. Gravy, baby. Hot.
Oh, yes. I was listening. It just felt good. It felt good hearing Reese. I'm not the only Reese. We got Reese's out there. We Reese with Robert Reese. Before that, you hear him say, hot facts, hot facts, hot facts with Robert Reese. And then it goes, hey, gig economy news channel. Big ups to my brother right there, K-Reese 007, K-Reese the architect. We got music all over the place, people. We go ahead and put it up. When you keep it in home and in house, it always sounds that great. I was like, hey, ooh. Big ups to my brother right there. Show my brother some love. You all see what this is. It's going to be an interview with Hot Facts and the DoorDash gig police and Eli. Woo-wee! They said this journalist over here really gets into it. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Robert Reese. I am Hot Facts with Robert Reese. I am the official news channel of the gig economy. Everything that goes in, From the numbers to the people to the yards to delivering and putting smiles and frowns on people's faces. That's what you get. On top of that, we do the entertainment tonight, the little bit of National Enquirer news for the ones who want to fit into that. We do all that here on Hot Facts. We do that here, yes, indeed. So make sure that you stay tuned. Also, if you would like to know more about what really goes on in the gig economy, make sure you tune in to the Boardroom, the #1 new series that showcases gig content creators and content creators in general who are doing something and showing how they are making a difference for themselves or everyone else out there. We look at the pros, the cons, and everything and beyond. We look at all that. If you don't know, people, go ahead and subscribe. Matter of fact, go ahead and get a membership. We got the Hot Facts crew, the Hot Crew. We got the supporters out there. Let me go ahead and give a shout out, because when you are a person of the Hot Crew, we go ahead and shout you out like that. Hulk smash. Everything in the middle gotta get smashed. Let's give a shout out to Hulk smash. George John, George John, John George. Say it backwards, it don't matter. It's the same dude, and he comes with the same thing for you. He is a great supporter of the gig world. He supports everything that he feels that he agrees with. He does that. Make sure you go ahead and show him some love. When you see Hulk Smash come in the building, go ahead and say, yeah, boy. Do that for him. He'll love that. We also have Gig, Thrive, and Drive, a channel out there doing some magnificent things out there, giving you all the rights and the wrongs and showing you how to make money if you're in a family or not and everything else where he lives. He went from 2 separate states and he's bringing you the great. Make sure you head on over there. Tell Kevin Hot Facts sent me. He'll go ahead and take care of you. And when you're there, listen to some really great information. That's Gig, Drive, and Thrive, people. Now, I got to say this. In the gig world, a lot of channels out there and people that have joined up. I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to Gary Middleton in Middleton Technologies, because he is the creator of the app Gig Wars. The app Gig Wars, he paired up with a content creator by the name of Rolling with Red, but it was Gig Wars official. Gary Middleton is the creator and designer and the application, everything for the app, driver utility helper app. All right. Hold up. Leave me alone. Gary Middleton has other apps, the Maximo app. These are apps that many of the gig drivers around the nation are using to help them out to do what they have to do. They went ahead and created something called Gig Wars to say that, well, since drivers want to know about how much money you make, let's go ahead and put up a leaderboard to see who does it week to week. In order to see this leaderboard, you have to go on over to Gig Wars Official. Gig Wars Official is also a member of the Hot Crew. Now, if you are a content creator, we do these things for you. Gary Middleton is the creator and designer of the app, which you see featured on many of the content channels out there. You may have a robot or a robot in the chat that goes up and lets you know everything good. Oh, thank you guys. Sorry about that. Gary Middleton is the man behind that, and he has a slew of other apps that he's actually helping the gig world. And go ahead and see what he has going on. Gig Wars is part of his overall branch and what they're trying to do to help gig drivers out there. But if you want your numbers to show and you want to compete against drivers here in Canada, and it's going worldwide. Make sure you go ahead and tune in to Gig Wars. Put your numbers up there if you want to. The link today for everybody out there, the link today is for Eli and the police of the DoorDash. Before I get into, because we all know it starts at 3 p.m., I want to get into this first before we actually start these interviews. All right. I don't even know how I'm supposed to go ahead and just go right into it, but I am. There were many people that asked me why okay, am I good? Am I good? Am I good? Thumbs up. Am I good? Thumbs. Thumbs. Okay. All right. All right. I was on Thomas Black. Some people were asking if he was gonna go ahead and hop on in. This was kind of difficult for me to try to address because I don't want to step on anyone's toes at all, but I have to make sure that everyone knows that what I am doing, it's what I am doing. My original plan was to interview Eli. Eli said he wanted Brian to be up there, so I said, done deal. I closed it off. Boom. Because actually, I wanted to do like a back-to-back with them, but I have everything together to where I can do them both at the same time. And I wanted everyone to know that even though you guys may want to see someone up on something that's going on, you have to understand that when, like, even though we're on YouTube or whatever platform it is, people put their time and effort into putting up a show and having it go on. If Jeff just inserted himself in, I would have to redirect and redo everything I had planned, and my show would not be for what I wanted for you guys to go ahead and get. If I allow Jeff to just say, yes, I'm going to be in the interview, I have no control over my show. Also, this is where people got to understand that just because we are on YouTube and we are on all these other social media platforms, that doesn't mean that you are putting in the hard work that you are putting in to make something go through. Everybody has to understand that even though you feel a certain way, you don't control nothing that anyone has planned. Myself and Jeff Thomas Black, I appear on his show. Yes, because he likes hot facts and I like him. During those times, he says, "Hey, hot fact, do you want to go ahead and come on up?" And I reply, just in case. He don't even know if I'm watching or not, but he normally does because I give a hello and a fist pump. I give one of those. Fist pump to all. So he knows that I am right there. He will then ask me the question. Okay. And then I respond to him. Everyone else out there watching, even though I know you guys may want to see something so bad and you got to let what you want to go ahead and watch, just watch it and then get yourself entertained so that you can learn something. Matthew, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and put that one up there. Fist to all. I tell everyone, I say fist to all. Boom. I say fist to all. I come in peace. I come in everything. Let's come in and be commoners. Let's go ahead and get it in. When you guys are people that are watching everything, you got to also have that respect out there. Give a fist pump for Matthew, letting everybody know that we do a fist for all. Go ahead and give a thumbs up on here on Hot Facts. I want to go ahead and just get that out of the way, all the way together. I will be on Jeff Thomas Black, probably people sometime this week. He talks about stuff that I like, and once he sees me and says, "Well, Reese, what you got to think about this?" I go ahead and hop on. You guys will see me and Jeff Thomas Black talk. You guys will get that. That is what we will do. So just make sure you guys understand that, this right here is something that I wanted to go ahead and get done. And if they're watching, I would like to let everyone know that the link that is up there for StreamYard is only there for Eli and Brian. Those are the only two people that will be allowed up here. I put it there for them, so I ain't got to send a link to one person's phone and they say they didn't get it. I put the link here so that when they go ahead and click, I see it's them. Boom. After that, people, nobody else is able to get up here. I have a great deal of questions that I want to go ahead and get off, and topics. I have them all written here. You may not be able to see all of these. I have a whole lot here, and I'm going to get them off. Before I get them off, guys, if you guys are there, click that link to let me know that you're there. Eli, I know that you are watching right now. Go ahead and click that link and be back there. Brian, go ahead, click that link and be back there also so I can see it's you two. I'll pull you guys on up. So what I'm going to do before they go ahead and click that link is I want to go ahead to teach some people or give some people some understanding about safe driving and what can happen. I myself, Hot Facts with Robert Reese, was involved in a car accident. Now, this was a few years ago. All right. I was driving. I had a green light. Car ahead of me goes through the green light. I'm going through the green light. I ended up almost head-on collision with the vehicle. I end up T-boning them. They ran the red light in between 4 to 5 seconds. I want you guys to know that as delivery drivers, you were on the road more than the average driver who was just driving the vehicle to wherever, to work and back, to home and back. That's all you're doing. As a delivery driver, you are driving in every single type, like the hours, the minutes you are driving. You put yourself at risk to be in, the category of car accident because you drive so much. The injuries last with you for a lifetime. The pre-knowledge that you get before that accident happens only happens right then and there. It's up to you to decide how you drive. I'm paranoid every single day when I drive. Paranoid. Intersections, four-way stop signs, I think I'm going to get hit every single time. To me, it's like I'm keeping myself safe. But if you are a couple doing the delivery and driving, like my wife may think that sometimes I may be overboard. But at the same time, you don't know until you go through it. Make sure you drive safe. We had another car accident out here and someone else got hurt, and it was a delivery driver. So delivery drivers do drive safe. Now, as of right now, I'm waiting right now on Brian. I'm waiting right now on Eli. And that's what we're waiting on. Until they come up, I guess until they come up, Eli left me a comment in my live saying, see you guys later. He's coming on up. Waiting on Brian here. But Jeff Thomas Black, if you would like to click the link right now until they go ahead and click the link, I can go ahead and talk to you and get that in. All right, let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on here. I got somebody here. Let's see. All right, here's Coach Eli. Let me add Coach Eli to the stage.
Hello, Robert Reese.
Now, I hope this is Eli because I didn't get a chance to see the face first. And I'm not trying to
it's me. Can you hear me?
That's Eli there, correct? All right, that's Eli there. All right, Eli, yep. I got you there. You are coming on in. All right.
Can you hear me?
And I see that I have someone else. Let me go ahead and click this.
Robert, can you hear me?
All right.
I wonder if I'm going through. Let me see if I'm going through here.
I got you, Eli. I got you.
Oh, cool.
Cool. All right, yeah. No. So I got you here, and I see I am Dad Dash. All right, yeah. Jeff Thomas Black. See, people, this is why me and Jeff Thomas Black, we communicate so well. I just saw that it said I am Dad Dash. He realized that it was Eli that was up here, so he went ahead and slid himself on off because he was like, I'm not Brian, and Eli's up there. So now we are waiting on Brian, who is right here. People, this is what we got going, and I would like to give a big hug right there to Jeff Thomas Black for understanding what was going on. He was gonna fill in dead time. He saw that it was not dead, and then he went ahead and did his thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Hello, both of you guys. I was just here explaining to the people what's going on. I'm gonna go ahead and scroll on down all the way here. Let me go ahead and get this set on up. Man, thank you guys. I want to thank both of you guys for doing this. Originally, I'll go ahead and just let this be known. I have on my list. I had Brian, but I also had Eli at a number 2. And I don't know if you guys play sports, but like on my play calling list, they were right there. And I was trying to go for Eli to go ahead and get him back on. And then when he said Brian, I said, oh, shoot, I can go ahead and still get them both back in. So I just want to say thank you guys for accepting it so quick and short of notice. You guys don't know that that's how I get down. That's how I work. I don't like to plan things out for weeks at a time because some of the things you want to say may not be the same. So I want to thank both
Robert.
of you guys for taking the opportunity to be here on Hot Facts. Before we talk, I want to go ahead and let you guys both go ahead and shout out your channels, what you guys got going on. Introduce yourself. Eli, I'm going to start with you. Let everybody else know who you are and what you got going on and what you do and how they can go ahead and reach you.
Right on. Thank you for having me, Robert, first and foremost. And, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, right? Why not? And I'm the same way. I love doing things on the fly. If it's possible to set something up in, a day or so, for me, as long as I can have 24 hours notice, I can typically get something done unless I have, a doctor's appointment or my lady's a doctor's appointment. But yeah, I like doing things the same way as you do. Very briefly, because I'm not about self-promotion. I love to help other people and, pay it forward, which is what I like to call it. I run the Coach Elias Mellis, and the Coach Eli 2 authentic live stream channels. The first one is my pre-recorded channel. The second one is the live streaming channel. And basically, I do business and personal success tips. I've been a part of the gig economy community probably for almost a year now. I started driving at the end of 2022, the middle of December of 2022, for just under 4 months until the end of March of this year. Beginning of April 2023. I needed some extra money. It was a struggle during that time for my lady and I, and this is the way that we figured, we could make some extra money. And boy, I'll tell you, it was one heck of a ride. I came to YouTube, which I was already on YouTube, creating my own coaching content. I came to YouTube seeking gig economy content to learn more, and boy, that's brought us to where we're at today. So I'm going to leave it at that for right now and turn it over to Brian. Thank you for having me here. And hello, Brian, as well. Thank you for being here, too.
What's up?
All right, now, for those, Brian, let me go ahead and give you a little bit of an introduction really quick. Let me go ahead and get you up in here. People, Brian, this gentleman is known he's an entity that is a huge cloud over the gig world. And DoorDash sucks, okay? Also, he has the DoorDash gig police, and also he has the DoorDash gig economy. Should we say corruption or should we say that DoorDash gig economy corruption channel or corrupt?
But that's that's kind of rough.
Huh?
That's a troll account. That other one.
All right. No. I know that one's no. Gig economy corruption, but you have 3. One of them is your original is DoorDash sucks. Then you have the DoorDash gig police, and the other one is the is that the gig? Say it again because I get confused sometimes.
It's DoorDash Gig Economy Police. That's the name of the channel. DoorDash. I had it originally as DoorDash Police, but I changed it because I wanted people to know that it's about the gig economy. So that's the reason I used
All right, no, but you have 3 channels though, correct?
Yep, I have gig app.
Yeah, so we're missing one. We have DoorDash sucks and the gig police in the middle.
Gig apps exposed.
Yes, there we go. Gigs apps exposed. That's why when I was thinking about corruption, I was thinking about all the stuff that went on and what's going on. Gig apps exposed is the 3rd one right there. If you guys would like to know what goes on, and the craziest thing is this, he's dealing with DoorDash on 3 different levels, and you get 3 separate sides of what's going on. if you actually pay attention to all three. So I want you guys to go ahead and pay attention to that and go ahead and follow him and see what he got going on. But, you know, that's enough of me. Introduce yourself to them because this gentleman has one of the best accents in all of the gig world. I'm going to just leave it there.
Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. So, you know, and by the way, you know, you want to hear a hot fact? Hot facts is I've never done a live on any of my channels. Isn't that strange? I've done premieres, but never lives. I've gone on other people's channels as lives. But so, anyways, I started my channel, DoorDash Sucks, back a little more than 2 years ago on September 23rd of 2021. Prior to that, I worked as a DoorDash driver. I mean, all the way through up to this, except in 2018, I took a job with Lyft. I mean, I was a car rental person, you know, and I rented the car, and I had left another job that I didn't really want to be with anymore. I wanted to do my own thing, and I thought, oh, I'll jump into you know, gig work. And I was watching different channels back then. There was a guy named, I can't remember, it was Gigolo or something. He changed his name, but he got off the space. He was doing all kinds of different stuff. He ended up doing different apps other than DoorDash too. But anyways, during that time, when I was driving for Lyft, I realized how that I was getting fleeced. I was taking these long distance deliveries, and, you know, wasn't getting paid very much, and I was looking into it, and I mean, I got times where I got ripped off from Lyft, telling me, oh yeah, you got paid $5 from that person, and I said, oh really? I go, well, the customer in my car told me that he gave me $20, and he did it right in front of me. I made a video on this too, not back then, but talking about it. And so I saw all these anomalies and these things that would happen strangely with the Lyft app. And then eventually I got away from Lyft. What happened was the pandemic came in and everything got shut down, and then I couldn't make any money. So I had to go on unemployment for a little while. I wish I had been on the DoorDash app because I heard that people were making lots of money during that time. It's true. So then I got into DoorDash in late 2020, early 2021, and the same thing happened. I was just like, this is crazy, and I started researching things. Now I have a lot of research and a lot of different background, history, American history, and things, and worldwide too. But I started putting pieces of the puzzle together and saying, hey, something is going on here. Something's not right. Like, people are just not making the money they should be. They're not getting paid a fair wage. And so my motto is to expose the lies, the fraud, the manipulation of the gig app companies, trying to get better than fair wages for the drivers. Not just a fair wage. We need better because we do everything. I mean, people just think, oh, it's just easy. But go out there and try to use your car day in and day out. Hit a pothole one day and blow one of your tires out, or your tie rod joint, or your transmission blows up on you. I'm going on a third car now since I've been driving in the gig work. And
right. Well, let me stop you there. I don't want you to give all your juice because I got to go ahead and ask you questions about all that stuff. I don't want you to just go. No, I don't want you to just go ahead and just start and just bam and just go all the way there. You was about to hit an inside the park home run. You was playing stick ball right there. He said we playing stick ball. We got a broomstick and a lopsided baseball that we know how to hit. You know, you was going there with it. I know how that worked right there.
Sorry for the lighting here. The lighting is not very good because I was out driving and I had to pull over to do the interview. You know?
Oh no, you all right. You all right. I want to let everybody know that you are dealing with Hot Facts with Robert Reese. I am a news channel. I am also a journalist. I am also the person that gets out there in the field and does everything else that I have to do. Even though I may not agree with certain things with individuals, when it comes down time to being professional and delivering the content and getting the information out there that people need to go ahead and get. That is something that we will do. This is not a place to where anything that is going on in the comments section is not going to be asked until I go ahead and get through what I have to do. So if you're going to go ahead and be in the chat and just write stuff, it probably will be ignored unless it's a significant point, which my assistant is my wife will let me know this point is valid here. I'll take a look at it and then may go ahead and interject and throw it in there. But outside of that, people, this is going to be something that we are going to do. I want to go ahead because I have a whole lot of great things I want to get into. I want to get the shenanigans out the way. If we can go ahead and get the shenanigans out the way first, so that we don't have to let those loom over the entire process of what we got going on. I want to get these shenanigans out first. Now, I'm going to go over a series of topics here, and I'm going to be asking you guys for both of your personal perspectives and opinions on each one. That is what is going to be going on, all right? So, the first topic here, now, for both of you guys, is going to be a little bit different. So, I'm going to start with Brian first on this. And we're only going to speak about this for just these few topics. Everything else here goes with all the way the gig world. But since things are going on right now, I want to address the monkey in the room now and get it off our back. So ain't nobody else got to say nothing else. Agreed?
Agreed. Good.
Yes.
All right. All right. So the first topic I want to go ahead and get into is Torp and Mr. Flex. I want to go ahead and I want to start with Brian on this. And then Eli, you'll be able to go ahead and come right back in on this. Brian, now I know that throughout, from the Glitchgate scandal and giving everyone the information about what's going on out there to help everyone, there was a time where, I knew who you were, you knew who I was, and there was something that we didn't agree on somewhat, and we fell apart in a way. But when Glitchgate came, we actually saw that we agree on way more things that we don't, and we came back together there. Now, that same Glitchgate thing happened with a few different content creators, and we all came in as saying, hey, I agree with this. I want to get into Torp and Mr. Flex because it seemed like Torp was like, hey, I agree with a lot of this, and now he is going a separate way. Flex was trying to go in and say that, hey, I agree with, I don't like, I want to snack someone away, but now they're on the same team and they are doing something that seems like it can be bad for the gig world. But since you are someone that Torp has not went out there and said other things about, I want to get your opinion on what you think about this whole thing dealing with the Eli and the Torp and the Flex and the Jeff Thomas Black. I want to get your opinion on that before we go to Eli.
Okay, well, I mean, first of all, like, Torp's never said anything bad about me. I've never said anything bad about him, and I have no beef with Torp. I don't like to say something, put words in someone else's mouth and talk to them. I like to speak to myself. I mean, in other words, yes, I have friends in this community and stuff. Sometimes, bitterness comes up, something happens, and you don't know what the behind the scenes things are that happens that makes that happen. So I'm kind of just sitting back, like, seeing how that plays out. But, like, we should all be coming together rather than, kind of calling each other names and things like that, like, to try to sort the real problems out. But I mean, as far as the turnaround or whatever, I don't know. I mean, do you have any ideas? I don't. Not on that. As far as why that happened, because I mean, everything was going smooth, and then all of a sudden, just turn around. But he's never done anything to me. Never said anything bad about me, and I haven't never said anything bad about him. And I feel bad that other people are being attacked and stuff, but you got to defend yourself when that happens too. Like, speak up and say something, right? I mean, I have no problem doing that if someone attacks me, but he hasn't attacked me. So I'm kind of like neutral on it because the friends I've made in this community, I want them still to be my friends. You know, I don't associate with criminals though. That's the thing. So and I'm not calling our group criminals. I'm saying certain individuals. You know, because that's not a good thing to be around. You know, but I do expose them as far as if they're trying to destroy the gig economy for the drivers, because I have just as much stake and claim in this gig economy as any one of you sitting here that has driven. I've gotten screwed over. I've lost $30,000 to $40,000 a year driving the gig app. You might ask, well, why do you continue to do them? Well, because you have to have a fight, a stake in the claim. You have to know what you're talking about from an expert message. I mean, in other words, I have a lot of deliveries, over the 8-9 different apps that I've used. I have over 24,000 deliveries, so I think I'm considered an expert to know what I'm talking about on certain apps. So, anyways, back to you, Robert. Sorry, Robert, can't hear you. Are you muted? Nope.
Robert, we can't hear you.
Sorry. Yep, sure. Go ahead.
You can hear me, right, Brian?
Yeah.
He says 1 minute or 1 second.
No problem. Take your time. Nice to see you, Eli.
Great. Good to see you too, bro. It's great to have you here, man. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, a rare appearance for me in lives, right? But you and the only 2 lives I ever had before this was Pedro and you guys. I mean, you, Eli.
Well, we must be special to you, Brian. I say that with humility. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, right?
Yes, sir.
Are we having technical difficulties here?
Yeah,
I think we
that's
may
okay.
be having technical difficulties. We got to take over this show. Keep it going. Go ahead, Brian. You're the host.
Let's tell the audience you've been baking some apple pies lately, and we're gonna do a cooking show together, right, Eli?
That's right. And Brian, I was saying that I'm going to have my lady Dawn bake us an apple pie because her and her mother are phenomenal cooks. By the way, earlier I had to step away. My lady Dawn's not feeling too well today, and she's just laying down on the couch. If she needs me, I may have to step away for a few minutes every so often. That's why I got up a little bit ago. So forgive me. She had a couple doctor's appointments, and she's on some new medication. So gotta keep an eye on her and make sure she's doing okay. But she's doing well. She says hello to everyone. And yes, she will be baking us some apple pies one of these days. And I can bake too, Brian, but I'm not as good as Dawn and her mom. I'll admit that. No shame in that.
Well, how's the weather out there? Good? In California?
Bro, it's 90 degrees out here today, and in parts of the valley, it's 100. We're having like a little bit of an Indian summer heat wave, Brian.
Not cool,
and
getting cool.
Oh, it's getting cool. Well, I went out for my walk earlier. When I stepped out of my car, it said 78 degrees, and then it started to get hotter. And when I went back to my car, it said 92 degrees after my 50-minute walk that I did right before I came out here on this show. So
Right.
Yeah, it's a little warm. But it's going to cool off again, and the rain will be coming soon. So,
Yes, sir. So, what did you have in mind, Eli, tonight? Robert's going to go over some things, but you had some special things to talk about or whatever.
We're having a little hard time hearing you, Brian, just so you know. I don't know if you're...
Can you hear me now?
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Okay,
There you go. Your microphone. You're wearing one of those like ear mic. Yeah, the mic on the side there. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Here comes Robert. He's coming back in.
Yeah.
Let's see.
There's a lot, Brian. There's a lot on my mind. I did my reaction video to John Billings last night after you did yours. That was a fantastic video. And until Robert. Yeah. No, it was great, bro, as always. What's that?
I mean, let's wait for Robert to come back before we talk about that, if we talk about it.
Yeah. No, I'm going to wait. All I'm going to say is this as a prelude to that. I don't hate anyone. I don't have any hatred for anyone, even people that don't like me. I have my opinions. I've had my experiences, and I'm just like you, Brian. I just want to do whatever I can to make the world a better place.
It says in the Bible, if you hate your brother, you've already committed murder in your heart. So if you want
You're
to
right.
commit
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Sure.
Brian, hold on. I'll be right back, guys.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, sir, Robert. Yes, sir. Yes.
You got me now?
Oh, yeah. Yep. You're good to go.
All right. No, I have to go back in for somehow StreamYard it switched me from my I like to have it on my speakerphone so it don't mix into the Bluetooth, but then it went into the headset, not the Bluetooth. So then I have to go back to default, then switch that. I have to go to like all three, then go back to just speakerphone. And now I'm back. So I was like, what is going on there? But StreamYard is unpredictable. May have to look into some other things. Sorry, StreamYard, I'm saying that out loud. May have to look into something else. Because
I can tell you something else if you want to know. You want to know the something else? There's when I used to be a gamer.
Go ahead.
When I used to be a gamer, right? Had a channel and we used to do what's called restream. So there's restream.io.
No, that's what Jeff Thomas Black uses, and I was like, well, this is kind of cool right here. The restream.
I told him about that, so I got to take credit for that. And I said to myself, no one in the gig community really knows about, unless they do, the restream.
Yeah, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna try it out. I'm definitely gonna go ahead and try it out and get that in.
It's called restream.io.
Right. Correct. Yeah. Correct. Now, the reason why I asked you about Torp and Flex was because you are an outsider. You have nothing going on with anyone, but you can actually see what's going on. So I just wanted to, go ahead. You touched on that, and you did a great job on that. Now, Eli, are you there, Eli?
He had to go take care of his dog real quick. He's gonna be right back. I think.
All right. So we'll go ahead and.
I wanted to just add something if I could.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, so I've been doing what I've been doing for over 2 years now. Well, the new channel is quite new, but the other channels, Gig Apps Exposed has been up for under a year, and the other one is been for 2 years. And I have over 670 videos on DoorDash Sucks, and I have 271 over at Gig Apps Exposed. But the thing is that for a long time, I kind of felt alone out in the gig space. And I was always telling some of the people, I go, and it's sort of like what you even said, or a few people, like, look in the mirror because the answer starts with you. A lot of people kind of like to just sit back and watch things happen and unfold instead of getting active in the community. And they expect things to be put on a silver platter to them. And in fact, that if they just did a little bit of something, they could move mountains. And the thing is that the whole thing that brought a whole bunch of us together was Blitzgate, because we saw a common ground on how people were losing money, losing their ass off because we were being lied to while some of these content creators were using the glitch to game the system, but then telling us we had to take top dashes. That was what the problem really was. So now you have a whole bunch of communities all together now. It's not just a few of us. There's a lot of people. And there's a lot of people that watch YouTube behind the scenes that don't even come onto YouTube that are doing things behind the scenes to try to help the community.
Right.
So
right.
There's a lot of things. I mean, have you ever gone to the Reddit post and see what's in there? I mean, there's a lot of
I go into Reddit. Going into Reddit is like diving into the ocean. You can go into one post and read something and go read, and then you can end up going into like it's like YouTube. You'll end up watching one video and then you'll end up like in a whole different universe.
Right.
Let me ask you this though. Sure. Because since Kyle was going there, and I can talk about this, well, Eli is back now. Well, you know what? Since Eli is back now,
Hey,
I'm gonna get
Sure.
Eli's thing on this, and then I'm gonna go ahead and ask this next one. So Eli, we talked about the Torp and Flex thing. You were one that Torp said we have our group here, and he would continuously name Eli and Brian and Jeff Thomas Black and Glitch Dash, and he went through the Uber Jeep AZs and the hot faxes and the Rev. He did all that, and it seemed like everything was cool. And then all of a sudden, he went ahead and went a different direction on you. My thing is, I want to get all this out of the way first. What was your reaction? What was your reaction to hearing that Torp was shouting you out, and then he wasn't shouting you out? He made a video and said he wasn't going to do it anymore. What was your reaction?
Robert, first of all, I want to apologize. It's going to be fine for a while. My lady's not feeling too well today, and I had to step away a couple of times just to make sure she's doing all right, and she's
Okay.
taking a nap on the couch. So I do apologize to you and the audience for that, and for my lack of professionalism. I apologize. But
Oh no, you're
to
all
answer
good. I
your
messed up
question,
3 times already.
well, as long as we own it, Robert, that's all that matters, right? And sometimes you can own things for 5 years, ha 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 ha, and still not be forgiven. But it's okay. I own it, man.
Hey, we're a gig
But
fan. You know that, right? We're a gig fan.
yeah, I appreciate that, Brian. Thank you, brother. Thank you also as well, Robert. Well, to answer your question regarding Torp, first of all, I truly don't have any hatred for anyone. I really believe in global peace. I know it's impossible. I also understand that if you try to save everyone, you save no one. And I still try to save everyone. I think that's how you are, Robert. That's how you are, Brian. And a lot of good people that have a good heart are like that. And what I'm about to say about Torp, I'm going to say again with respect and in hopes that he gets the right help that I, along with many other people, feel that he needs. I honestly think that Torp is suffering from PTSD or some type of mental illness. I'm not a doctor. I am not a psychologist. I do not have a psychology degree. What I have is common sense, my experiences, and I have a love for personal development. And also, I am fascinated with human behavior. And coming out here on YouTube, Robert and Brian, you guys both know there are all walks of life. And if you want to study human behavior, whether you're a psychologist or not, every walk of life is out here, and it's fascinating, right? So what I want to say about Torp is I think what happened is he got confused about when I was apologizing about the nasty things I said 5 years ago. I apologized for them many times, and my trolls kept coming. And then Torp said, well, dude, you said those things as recent as last year and earlier this year. And I said, Torp, those are videos that have been re-uploaded from the original videos that were created 5 years ago. And when somebody re-uploads those original videos that are no longer available, it shows the current date of upload. And it seems like, when you try to explain logic to Torp, with no disrespect, it's clear logic that most reasonable human beings would understand. He doesn't get that. So he basically started calling me out based on the re-uploads of videos that happened 5 years ago that I've been apologizing for, and he thought that I didn't learn my lesson and I was still doing the same thing that I did back then, right? And so that's why I feel he flipped on me. And again, I never trash talk Torp. I told everyone out here in the community, find one video or one private conversation, right, where I trash talk Torp. I never once did. And one more thing real quick. Remember when Always Cherry Pick, whose channel is still on hidden, folks, by the way. He hasn't deleted it. It's hidden. He'll be back, right? Remember when he went at Torp's wife? You guys remember when he was saying, I want to beep Torp's wife, right? Okay. Well, most of us didn't hear that the moment it happened. With Torp, he seems to think that all of us are watching things 24/7 out here on YouTube. And when one little thing goes wrong, we all get it right away and we're all going to jump in. No, we have our lives to live outside of YouTube. But when we found out about this a day later, we were hearing Torp was trashing us for not standing up for him. And I'm like, Torp, we didn't even know about it till right now. Give us a chance to find out the information and dissect it so we can come and support you. Then I had his back. You had his back, Brian. Robert, you had his back. Jeff Thomas Black. We all had his back.
Well, I had his back before that. I had his back before that, before all of the second and third everything's came. So that's why, I'll get into that later. But yeah,
Okay.
you saw that. But now I want to know this from you, Eli. He did that
Sure.
and he went back on you, right? And then there's this
Mhm.
guy by the name of Mr. Flex, and Flex gets people that came from communities that don't like you, and because
Mhm.
he saw that they don't like you, he decided to go ahead and use them. Now, I don't know if you were aware, but he gave Johnny $50 on his own live stream the other day, and Johnny cried on Flex's live stream. And Flex said, "Don't worry about it." I don't know if you were aware of that, but he did it
No.
on his own live stream. At 59 minutes is when it starts. He gives Johnny $50 in a cash app, and Johnny starts crying. Flex took a population that was going against you, and he said, "Well, I'm going to go ahead and get them." And then he and Torp have some type of union together that's going against you. And I wanted to get your thoughts on how did Flex try to come in and get people that didn't like me, and then him and Torp are together. What did you think about that when you woke up and you saw a video that Torp and Flex were together after you thought it was opposite?
First of all, there is a sock account of my lady's account in the chat, so I'm hoping someone can remove that account. That is not her.
Eli,
I
we're just Eli,
yeah,
Eli. We're talking about the questions here, so don't worry, Eli.
yeah,
Don't worry about the chat. Don't worry about the
yeah,
chat. You know what I mean? Let's
yeah.
just go with the question here, and then we'll be fine. Just go with the questions.
Yeah, regarding Flex, my thoughts about Flex. First of all,
Yeah,
with no
yeah. Flex
disrespect
and
intended.
him joining up with Torp in that union.
Yeah,
How did you feel like that actually happened?
I was surprised, especially after always cherry pick, who I believe is very close with Flex. When cherry pick, went at Torp's wife, I figured Torp wanted nothing to do with Flex, wanted nothing to do with cherry pick or any of those drama people over there. But obviously, when people have a common goal of hatred, what I've noticed here on YouTube is that they conglomerate together and they create a hate campaign, or what they do is what they do something that's called hate bonding, right? So in essence, they don't really like each other, but they're hate bonding over one common, cause of hatred. In this case, it happens to be me. And so, additionally,
Gotcha.
regarding Flex, look, I mean, I don't have any problems with him either, but I just think he's a spoiled, entitled millennial brat, and he's never learned responsibility. And he comes out here on YouTube and does erratic things, and then does gig work throughout it. I mean, if that's the way he wants to live his life, if that's what he wants to be remembered for, so be it. And additionally, no disrespect, my lady and I did a stream on this, or actually a video on the main channel, Coach Elias Mellis, about illiteracy. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I think he's very illiterate. You can see that in his writing. No disrespect. He should get help for that. And I think he lacks comprehension. A lot of these people are illiterate, so they're not able to comprehend things, and they're just running their mouths erratically, and they're disturbing the
Gotcha.
actual, serious natured message that we're trying to put out there, because they're just not, competent enough to comprehend what's really going on. That's it.
Right. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, yep. Leave that there. And if you guys want to follow up on that, I'll give you a reference. I put a short up the other day, and Flex was reading something from Damian Blaze, and what Eli is talking about, the literacy on being able to write. Go ahead and check that out on how people are able to read and say it out loud. And that's what he is talking about. It's not a negative thing. It's just something that you can point out that actually happens in our society. And it just so happens that Americans, some tend to want to be less on the proactive side of education. That's what I'm going to say right there. Now, on top of that, now you talked about some other things there, and I'm going to bring both you guys in on this, because there is some
Okay.
terminologies that you guys
we lost your mic again, I think.
Robert, we can't hear you. No audio, Robert.
No worries. You have to jump back out. It's okay. That same thing is happening, I think. You can hear me, right, Eli?
Yeah, no, I can hear you, Brian. You're
Okay.
still sounding a little bit low whenever that microphone on your lapel gets tucked away. But yeah, when you have it out, it sounds better. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries. Oh, look at that. Mr. Dad Dash in the chat. He's like, you gentlemen are incredibly confused on who is hate bonding. Man, Brian. I'm at a loss for words, Brian. That's all I can say, brother.
You know, the thing with me is I don't really engage in trolls much at all. Like when they start coming around, I just delete them. You know what I mean? That's the easiest way to get rid of them. Delete them, you know? I try to stick to the message at hand as far as like what we need to accomplish and things like that. But I get it. You know?
Yeah. I mean, we've got a lot of, I hate to say this, but it's the truth. We have a lot of sick people in this world and they need to get help. They really need to get the professional help. And, you know, I don't know what to say beyond that. They have to participate in their own rescue if they want to be saved, you know?
Yeah. You could pop back out and come in if you need to, Robert. I don't know. That same thing's happening. That is weird. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, no worries, Robert. We're here, man.
I wonder if it's going to Bluetooth or something. Over.
If he's running his car and he has Bluetooth installed, it will go back and forth unless he disconnects it. Yeah, that's the thing with these newer cars nowadays with, you know, the touch screen, the infotainment. You know, I have that in my Honda.
Yeah.
Like you gotta like disconnect it from your car system or it'll keep going back and forth.
By the way, I want to say hello to all my subscribers who are out there. AZ, JTV, Rich Dash, anyone watching, Damien, all those folks, and any new ones that would like to come over to my channel. Everyone, you know. I can't see anyone in the chat because I'm inside the studio. So.
Yeah, you're not missing much. It's just, it's a lot of my trolls and yeah, I'm just blocking them all. Then they can't see me. I can't see them. So I'm not a mod here, which is fine. I don't need to be a mod here, but you can still block people, Google block them, and they can't see you and you can't see them. The rest of you can see them, but they can't see what I say and I can't see what they say, and that's for the better, you know.
It really, it doesn't even matter. Well, I mean, to me, they can say whatever they want. The truth is what prevails, you know what I mean, on all levels. But
yeah.
Robert's screen frozen. Yeah.
Yeah, Brian, I'll read this one here. Dad Dash says, Eli, that is a very self-enlightened statement. I hope all three of you get the help you need. What help do you feel we need, Dr. Dad Dash, which is what we call you, resident sociologist, like Glacier Dash and Thomas Schubeck called you. You know, I'm not here to argue you or anyone. I really just want everyone to get along. And, you know, it just seems like we have a bunch of grown-ass men in their 30s, 40s, and 50s acting like 2-year-olds or 10-year-olds, you know? It's really time to grow up and face reality and start doing something productive for the world. That's what we're trying to do here. That's all, you know? I'm trying to be as nice about it as possible. Thank you, Glitch Dash. We love you, Coach Eli. Oh, we love you too, bro. Go ahead, Brian. You have anything to say while we wait for Robert?
No, I just, you know, oh, here he comes back in. Boy, that's kind of crazy how that happened again. It probably, like you said, defaults back to that Bluetooth thing.
Yeah, in his car. It's probably connecting and disconnecting.
There you go. Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I all the way figured it out. Even though I was on the speakerphone on my phone, my car was still trying to recognize the fact that speakerphone on here does not disable to Bluetooth on your phone. So it kept sending me back and forth to the other ones. So I just turned that off, and now I'm all the way good. But you guys can hear me good now?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Strong.
Yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely.
All right. Oh, perfect. Now I was on the fluffer nutter thing.
Go ahead.
Now the fluffer nutter thing. You guys have brought in something to the gig world. You brought in some new terminology, some new laughter. Instead of clown or miserable human being and things like that, you brought in fluffer nutter. I would like to know, where the hell did you think of that and how did it come about?
Eli, you want to answer that for me, or I'll answer it. It doesn't matter.
I started following Brian about 10 months ago or 11 months ago when I was driving, and when I first heard that word fluffer nutter, I'm like, damn, dude, that's great. That's fantastic, man. That's like the funniest thing. And I was talking to a guy that I met from Reddit that was driving in Las Vegas during the time. We would text message each other throughout the day. And he was following you, Brian, as well. His name is Chad. And when I told him about the word fluffer nutter, he was like, man, dude, that's the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life. So, it's been happening for a while. And I think it just, because when we say nutter, I don't want to get too derogatory. It's a monetized channel. I want to keep it clean. The word nut has a certain meaning, for men, right? So when I heard fluffer nutter, that's like a fluff guy that's blowing his wad over something not worth it, in my opinion.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, no, because it has grown like it's crazy because some people are like, why is he asking this? Well, just like when people said they're clowns or they're this and they're that, I am hearing, well, not hearing because we have to watch it visually. I am visually watching on other channels, people put it into the comments section. They are typing in fluffer nutter. So I just thought that was hilarious that you guys brought that out and you guys tied it into a whole world with the glitch. Yeah, go ahead. You tied it into a whole world with the glitch and everything else like that. Now,
well, it's
go ahead.
Simple. It's more simple than that, Robert. It's actually, so when I was a little kid, my mother used to make me peanut butter and fluffer nutter sandwiches, right? That's what we called it. So it's just something that came up, when someone gives you a bunch of fluff, like pies or whatever. So then one day I was like, these guys are a bunch of fluffer nuts. That's how it basically come out. So then
okay, yeah, see, that's what I was looking for right there. I was looking for that answer right there. You know why? Because just imagine, look, we're at the picnic, right? And I just happen to be sitting next to you, and you going off on this dude, and you just say, "Oh, you're fluffer nutter," and I'm sitting there, and I look at you like, "What the hell did he? I'm from California. What the hell is this?" And I'm sitting there looking at him, and now you gave me the explanation on exactly what it is. So that was perfect right there. So you know what? Hey, you brought something into the gig world, and it's hilarious because I said myself, I will never say it, and I've said it like 4 times. So that lets you know that it's catchy and it's here. It's like, it's here. Fluffer nutter. I don't want to be called a fluffer nutter. I don't want to be look. That's like the worst thing to be called to me. Like, look, like when my wife says, "Oh, you're a jerk" or something like that, I'm like, out of all the bad words you can name, you call me a jerk? That's like the worst. Fluffer nutter has taken over jerk in my disrespectful words. You call me a fluffer nutter. So therefore, that means I can't do nothing manly. I gotta go do that. What's that Canadian thing where they shove the ice? What's it called again? When they
curling.
Yeah, you're gonna tell me I can't play football. All I can do is go curling. No, I'm not a fluffer nutter. No.
Also, so that a lot of times you'll hear something like, "Oh, they're putting out fluff content" or something like that. So if you hear something, that's like the short version, the saying
Okay.
fluffer nutter. But basically,
Okay.
that identifies a channel that is putting out, say, misinformation, lies, or fakery. They're just faking things, or it might be into multi-level marketing. They're trying to rip people off by charging them $997 on how to be a YouTuber and stuff like that. You probably heard
Gotcha.
about
Gotcha. Gotcha. Gotcha all the way. Oh, well, we'll wait until Eli. We'll go ahead and jump into this. Let's get into the gigs now. We didn't.
Okay.
I want to get in. I want to get all that stuff out the way first. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Because I want to get it out the way first. Let's get into these gigs now. Now, Brian, you and I, we agree on certain things, but then we disagree on certain things.
Yeah.
You want people to have it so that, like, there's a $10. If I'm mistaken about this, just let me know. You want $10 tip per order, or do you want it on what type of orders?
No, I want a $9 or $10 base pay brought back that they originally were giving when they first started to sucker everyone into the DoorDash app. And we're talking specifically on DoorDash right now, but it really goes to all these apps. The apps,
Okay.
I want that back. I want a good base pay back, not $2, not $1, $10 or $9. That'd be fine. We could compromise with $9. Because I think that the drivers are worth it. Everyone is. We're out here working. We should get paid well. Go ahead.
Well,
Robert.
no. That is no. Well, because I want to get into all this pay, and you said because we deserve to get paid well because what we are doing. This whole subject right now is going to be about pay, and I want to get into what is. I would like to ask, what is just pay? Because what we are dealing with each order is different. Like, let's say you don't know who it is. You may do a shop and pay order, and maybe someone handicapped. You got to go put stuff on the inside because they're in a wheelchair, things like that. What is just pay,
Okay.
and what should be the just pay for every dasher out there?
I'm glad you brought that up, Robert, because see, I'm a compassionate, empathetic person. I care about everyone, and I'm a Christian too. I love God, so sometimes Christians make mistakes or do stupid things, but that's because we're human. So we have to correct ourselves and even whenever I'm wrong or something happens, I have no problem correcting myself. But I try to respect everyone. The thing about having it fair for all the dashes is, okay, let's talk about disabled people. I'm the most empathetic person. If I see someone, I don't even mind not getting a tip from someone who's disabled because we don't know what their situation is. They may not have a lot of money or anything. I'm actually more than happy to bring a delivery to them that I may not have got tipped on because I pray for them. In my head, I'm like, please God, make sure this person gets well or whatever. And that goes for anyone. Okay. Now, there's different levels too. If you look at a rich person, right now, you might say, well, how do you judge someone being rich? Well, if they have 3 cars out in the parking lot, they have a huge house with chandeliers and water springs coming out of the front of the yard, and they have a huge pool, and they look well off, right? Well, I assume they have some money. So when for instance, I took an order the other night for $117. And I got a $5 tip in there, right? And I mean, I'm sorry, but I disagree with the amount of money that people are getting tipped. There should be a mandatory minimum 20% mandatory tip for the driver. And if you can't afford that, then you shouldn't be on the app. And this is not a luxury service. This is not a welfare and public service. This is a luxury service. It's been.
I want to get into that right there because that is something right there. Because when we talk about the dollars on you accepting the order, if the order comes through all the way and you're like, that's enough for me, I'll go ahead and get that in, right? Now, see, I am a person, and this is where here is why you need to have dialogue like this. I am a person that does not see that these companies are luxury companies, and they started off like that. I feel that this was just another way because of employees calling in and out from the W-2s. It's a way for the merchants to still be in contact with the customer. Being that we are in, the US, and we know that they say that we are spoiled here. Now, you said it's luxury. I just feel like it's like, hey, when you go buy, back in the day, Sears and Roebuck, you go to Sears, you go buy that big screen TV, that refrigerator, 50 extra bucks, you go ahead and get that delivery. They'll go ahead and drop that off to you. The delivery dudes don't get no tip, but if they were dealing with my fat family, we might order them some chicken, and they go ahead and eat, and then they go ahead and drive on back, stuff like that. But
Okay.
but you're saying it's a luxury service. When I hear the word luxury, I'm thinking of, all right, I'm going to the Ritz-Carlton. I'm going to the Ruth Chris Steakhouse. I'm going to where they have the valet parking. They have all of this and that for us to feel a certain way. When I think about, delivery service and direct to customers from coming from the warehouse realm and, the big body corporations, that doesn't fit that. But, I know that you feel that way, and there's many other that do. I'm just trying to figure out, how do we, because I think that's the biggest, finest line. Is it luxury, or is it or is it convenience or mandatory? Because when I was picking up my Walmart Spark and I scanned the item, it showed on my phone that this is available for EBT, which means that the customer, even though I got paid $25 for 4 miles, I got paid that. But that company, that customer was using EBT on Walmart also.
Right.
So, there's a fine line in between luxury and what it is. So I know that myself, I feel that it's not luxury, but it can be luxurious if you live a certain lifestyle. And if you're a driver that wants to make a certain amount of money, you need to go deliver to where the luxurious people are. Outside of that, I feel that it's a job to go ahead and get it done. Now, you feel, from what my opinion is, you feel that since we are getting out there, it's us, that they're using us to be in contact as like the restaurants or the merchants to be in contact with the customer. Instead of merchant to customer, you feel it's they're putting us in contact with the customer. Would that be a fair statement or, observation?
Well, yeah, kind of. But what I want to say is, like, whose fault is it that we're in the predicament we're in? It's the company's fault, because the company is the one that sets the policies and the mandates. Okay. And in fact, when I was driving for rideshare, they came up with this policy. Oh, you wear a mask on your face. Well, I'm not going to put something on my body or in my body that I don't want. That's the one separation why some people came to gig work, because they got away from jobs that were telling them to force them to do something. So they figured, well, I'll be independent if I do that. Now, getting back to the money part of it, to be honest, my opinion is that I don't think that most of these corporations like Dunkin' Donuts, Wendy's, Burger King, you name it, KFC, should even be on the list of being used to be delivered. It should be a high-end service where you're getting it from high-end restaurants. Okay. Eli, do you want to step in there and say something? Go ahead. I'm sorry. And I'll
No. I agree with you, Brian. DoorDash, Uber Eats, any of these food delivery services or package delivery services or shop and pays. Come on, you gotta have somebody do your shopping for you. Are you that lazy and entitled? It's a luxury premium service, and if you're too damn lazy to do it yourself, you're gonna have to pay someone a premium to do it for you, especially if you want it done right. I think that's the problem right there. That DoorDash and Uber and Grubhub and all of these companies, they found a way to bring a luxury service to the poorest people that can't even afford to use a service, so they don't tip, right? And then they find ways to manipulate us to take the orders, right?
Yep. By the way, I want to give a shout out to Uber Jeep AZ Arizona, because he's the one who came up with this is not a public service and welfare service. This is a luxury service. I got that from him, so I'm not stealing his thunder. but I want to give him a shout out because he's one of the good guys out there, you know. Anyways, go ahead, Robert.
You
Go
also
ahead, Robert.
gotta look at it from this aspect too. When you're dealing with the ride share, you're dealing with, you can have a regular vehicle come pick you up. You can have something a little bit better if you want to, if you're going to a ball or a convention, you can have this vehicle go ahead and drop you off. When you're dealing with the everyday food deliveries, there's not an option on, the driver I want to get is someone that drives that car that is picking up the luxury people and taking them to their place. It's not like that, which makes me want to go ahead and get into the ratings thing. So since they have a rating system there, and since we say it's luxury, shouldn't the ratings in most of what these content creators be talking about, shouldn't these ratings matter? Because the higher your ratings should show that how much more professional you are, right? In order for you to get paid like it's luxury, correct?
Yes, but here's the thing. On the flip side of it, how come drivers can't rate their customers on delivery apps, especially DoorDash? We used to be able to. How come I can't put a 0 or a 1 for someone that I don't want to deliver to anymore? How come I can't put a 0 or a 1 for a merchant that I don't want to go to anymore because the guy had a fight with the guy, or he doesn't like me and he hates me, so I don't want to go back to that store. You know what I mean? Like, we can't.
Well, to answer that one for anybody else that may be out there, you can actually, and I have done this myself, and I have removed myself from picking up from certain merchants. I have called customer support and I have asked them for the special support team or the special escalation team, and I have called to spend my time to call them and let them know, and I don't pick up from some of those places at all, or drop off to those same houses. So there is a way. It just takes a little bit of time for you to go ahead and do that.
Right. Well, okay, so okay, go ahead. Back to you, because I've had something on my mind, but I don't want to screw you up here. Go ahead.
I have a response to that real quick, if I can get in here for a second, Robert. Is that cool? Regarding the rating
it's
system.
on you. Go ahead.
So, DoorDash's rating system, on the scale of, obviously 0 to 5 stars, right? And they have something in their terms of service in their, independent contractor agreement. If you are lower than 4.2, you could be deactivated, right? So in essence, if every customer rated you 4 stars, which is still a pretty good service, because some people have the theory that no one's perfect, so no one deserves a 5-star. But perfect to some people, or close to perfect, is 4-star. So if every customer rated us 4 stars, which is still technically good service, according to the independent contractor agreement, we get deactivated because we're below 4.2. So I think it's a bunch of crap. I think it's garbage. I think it's just another way to manipulate us, to worry, to stress out, and drive fast to get these orders out there quicker, which puts us, further at risk to get into accidents and other stuff. I just think DoorDash is trying to do whatever they can to get as many of these orders delivered as quickly as possible before they go belly up, including the non-profitable ones. So yeah, I think the rating system is garbage. It's garbage.
Well, I want to say something on that. That's true, because DoorDash and all these companies, that's the ultimate goal, is to get you to take every order, because that's more money in their pocket. But it's less money in the driver's pocket, right? But you got to understand the oversaturation of the market, and the reason that they're doing this hiring campaign. And I've met a bunch of drivers tonight that were telling me, hey, I'm new, because I talk to people. I'm like, hey, are you a new driver? Oh yeah, I just came on. Oh, what's your acceptance rate? Oh, it's 90% or 100. And and I said, do you take everything? Yes, we take everything. I said, oh, okay. Like, and then I tell them about the channel. I mean, there's a lot of people. I met a guy the other day saying, I took one for $275. He went like 13 miles with it. And I'm like, did you make any money on that? He's like, no, but I figure I'm going to get a better order down the road, That's what we all thought when we first came on. And then you start to find out the system, how it works. Now that leads into you, Robert, because I guess this is where early on where I kind of had my disagreement with you, is because when I first heard about you, I had seen that you were pushing or you were talking about like that you should take everything and stuff like that. And that's how I was not too happy about that. And that was going back to when I was on Pedro's interview. But around the same time, we both were on his channel. And then when I went on to his channel, I was like, what happened between you and Robert? And he's like, oh, something. I didn't even know what happened there. I still don't know the full story of it. But the thing is that the glitch, right? The whole thing that people need to know is if you want to learn how to do DoorDash, and I'm not telling people to do it because I think it's unethical and immoral to do it. But if you want to know how to do DoorDash, all you got to know is the glitch. There's no more tips, tricks that anyone needs to be taught because everything's out there. By the way, you have a very good channel, Robert. I was wrong about you, and I'm sorry. I made preconceived things about you, but like, over time I got to know, at least watch your videos. So I know it was my fault, my mistake. So I want to apologize to you, but it sucks because all I want is fairness, better than fair wages for the drivers, right? But we have a problem here because we have companies that are lobbying against us in Congress and the Senate and paying these people off so that the laws can't get passed. Look what happened out in Minnesota. Now, Colorado, same thing. Do you want to elaborate on that, Robert? Or what do you think about that?
I was getting my sound back there, right? And I wanted you to just say, hey, thank you for those kind words there. Thank you.
You're welcome, brother. You're welcome.
Thank you for those kind words there. I want people to know that like you get every person that puts something up, especially if they put DoorDash in the name or whatever else it is, there is no in between these days. You know what I mean? It's either you're in this way or you are in that way. And we got to understand that, people. We cannot forget that there is a middle ground there. And we got proof right here. Brian just went ahead and just broke it down. I said something first and he went and broke it down here. You know what I mean? And he said he likes my channel here. He likes what we talk about and things like that. I may push the issue a little bit too hard for some people's liking, but if I don't push the limit that hard, it's not me being me. I like to keep it that way, and the people that actually respect you will go ahead and say kind words like that. So I just want to make sure that everyone knows that, because there are some people, Brian, that remember like a year ago. Well, they weren't talking back then. No, we were, but it was just on if something came up that we agreed upon. It's just so that there was so much going on in this gig space that it was like, I'm gonna focus on me. He focuses on him. That person focuses on them, and then boom, we had something that happened that got this live stream going together right now.
Robert, I just wish, the thing in my heart is I just wish that we could all get along to really fight the beast, and the beast is the gig economy, because the gig economy is really a technocracy and a corporatocracy that you're seeing unfolding in your lifetime. In no other time in history would you ever see something like this unless technology existed. And it's all through computer AI. And that's why Jeff Thomas Black has done so much research, and his book is coming out in this fall here. I mean, winter or whatever.
Yeah, it's coming out soon. Look, it's soon.
And so, like, all we ever wanted to do was fight for drivers' rights. And I'm going to say another thing, because at the very beginning, people would accuse. Now, first of all, I don't think that there's anything wrong with a channel to be monetized and making money, as long as you're doing, good things and you're trying to help people. There's nothing wrong with that. However, my mission I took a different mission, and part of my mission is a spiritual mission, which I haven't really been talking about lately. I've been really focusing on all the other stuff. But the thing is that I wasn't compromised with money. I didn't monetize my channel. I don't do my channel for one dime. I've never made a dime. The only thing we ever did was help one of my subscribers out. He was literally going to lose his apartment, and I said, you know what, I got to do something about this. So we raised like about $500, for him to get rent, and it was enough for him to just pay it. So because he was okay, his car broke down and everything. That was the only thing I ever did. I never took one dime. But I mean, I love to help people. I want to help people. I want people to succeed. I don't want people to fail.
That's crazy right there, because I don't know, all the talk that people say about you, and you know, with the whole glitch gate and all this stuff, is that right there should tell people and show them who you are as a person, correct?
Yeah, because listen, Robert, it'd be the same thing with you guys. If you guys were hard up and you were living, I mean, I'd be like, Robert, I'm going to try to raise some money for you to help you out. I don't care about the money. I care about you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I get it. We need money to survive and live. And look, there's nothing wrong. Like, your channel is fine. It's fine because you're doing a service for the people. Like, that's all we ever care about. But I took the other road. People say, well, why are you still doing the gig economy? Why are you still if you hate these apps so much? It's not that I hate them. I want them to change so people can better their lives through it. But there's so many wrong things going on with these gig apps, and they seem to care less and less for us. So someone has to get out there and be a voice. Someone has to stand up in the gap for someone to say, okay,
right,
try to make changes. And activism is part of that. Now, I'm not saying it's for everyone to do it, but some people got to stand up or nothing's ever going to change. We have to bring change. And a lot of people don't like that change because, unfortunately, when the glitch was exposed, that changed the game for a lot of people. We're only talking about the DoorDash app. There's glitches that exist on a lot of these apps that we don't even know about. We know there's one on Uber, but we haven't figured out what it is unless someone wants to spill the beans on that. Wink, wink, not you, but someone else.
Right. Well, let me ask you like this. Well, you know, being on this subject right here on helping everybody out and everything, Eli, you are here. It's Eli, are you here?
He might have had to go check Dawn for a few minutes. He might be gone, but I can continue with you. Go ahead, Robert.
All right. Well, no, go ahead, because I wanted Eli to hop right in on this, because it was gonna go right on into him. Because if I go over my next piece, it's gonna go, it's gonna mess it up, because I cannot go and ask this without going with him first there. So I'll just wait until he comes back on up. But I would like to ask you this, and I'll fill in some time there.
Sure.
What do you think? What should be on across every app out there? What should be the minimum tip amount per delivery that you do, from your opinion?
Okay, well, let's start with disabled people. They should have a discount. I'd say even give them 5% they can put in, and that's fine. Maybe 10. But the regular people should be paying a mandatory minimum of 20%. And the reason why is because we're in 2023. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to go into a supermarket and see what the price is. I'll give you an example. About a year ago, I bought a can of tomatoes, Pastine tomatoes. I could get them for $1.29. In my market, they are now $4.45, and they were $1.29. So what does that tell you? People, a lot of people can still afford to do these order from the apps. But what's happening is a lot of poor people are still using them because they get addicted to the apps. They get addicted to using them and get lazy, and they don't want to go down the street and get something for themselves. I always tell people, if you don't have the money to tip, listen, if you don't have money to take care of the driver, then you shouldn't be ordering on the app. Now, the other thing is that I think drivers would appreciate to get tipped in cash rather than through the app, because remember, anytime where there's a middleman that can come in and have an ability to take money, I mean, we could get into a lot of things, but the apps are stealing the money from the drivers. I have proof of that. I've made videos on it showing that. I mean, Eli can attest to that. He saw my videos.
Brian, can I jump in on that for a second? This is what I think is happening. You made a good point the other day that when certain merchants have the option to dispatch orders that come into the merchant's website, for example, let's say you order a Round Table pizza through their website and you choose for it to be delivered by Round Table's in-house delivery service, right? And let's say that they don't have enough drivers, or it's an offer that they don't want to take, they can dispatch that order to DoorDash, Uber Eats, or wherever. At that point, DoorDash sends them the information, and let's say DoorDash, or they send DoorDash the information, and then they can put in there, whatever they want for base pay and tip, right? So this is actually, and I'm not trying to take DoorDash's side, but this is actually the merchant screwing over the driver on the dispatch thing. Right?
Well, Eli, let me go ahead and let you know about that right there. There was a major merger with Lunchbox and Novodyne. Okay, they gave, if a merchant wants to sign in to that integration system itself, they have the ability to not only have the orders coming in, they can stop the orders from coming in until they fulfill those, and then they can also dispatch. That is part of what they're signing up for, so that they can maintain their shrink on losing orders from drivers doing the bad thing. That is something that is out there. Now, before we get back into a little bit of that, before you left, I was going to go ahead and get back in because, Brian was talking about they raised some money, got like $500 for someone to go ahead and so he can actually live a little bit more and have, that peace of mind in itself. And
he was going to lose his apartment. He was going to lose his apartment.
Yeah, that peace of mind right there, that whole everything. Now, with having that done, and Eli, you have a channel, and you are what they say is a life coach. Now, when you see people like Brian, they're raising money to go ahead and get someone in so that they don't lose their place. But then we got people that say, well, Eli is a life coach. What is Eli doing outside of what Brian's doing? I would like to know, as a life coach, how would you handle if someone was on your channel and they went out to you and they said, hey, I'm going through this and I need to go ahead to get this in order to live? How would you, as a life coach, handle that same situation that Brian was able to be successful on? You as a life coach.
So first of all, thank you for the question, Robert. It's a very, very good question. First of all, there are different types of content creators / YouTubers on the platform. Some of them do it just for fun. They never get their channel monetized, even though they qualify, like Brian, Torp, etc. Right? Others will get their channels monetized and they do it as a hobby. And if they make a little extra money, so be it. Then there are people like myself and you, Robert, that we run it as a business, right? Now, there are different aspects to business. There's business and then there's charity work, right? And, when a business, makes enough money, a lot of times, they want to donate money, first of all, for the right reasons to help a good cause, right? But you also get a tax break for that. Donations are tax deductible, right? So I'm all for, helping people out, and I'm all for charity work. I first of all feel that as a business or even as an individual person, before you can invest your time to do that, you yourself have to be in a good enough financial position to be able to either donate yourself or take the time out of your busy day where you would have been making money to pay for your bills, to be able to focus on, helping somebody out in a charity way. I believe charity work is important. I believe we need to help these people, but you can't help anyone else until you first help yourself. Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense, but we also got to think about that someone was in dire need and they were able to reach out to someone that they felt like, look, I've turned left, I've turned right, I've done the whole spin cycle in the washing machine. And they said, hey, you know what? Let me contact Brian. He's always been a logical thinking person, and he has always had some great advice for me. Turns out that when they went to Brian, Brian was actually able to go ahead and get on the platform and make that happen. Now, I understand that you said that you should be able to have this, but there are times when someone like Brian can't help out. And being a life coach, This is something that, you know, it's a question that many people out there wanted to go ahead and know and put out there. I got your answer there. Now, my next thing is here, because both of you guys are linked into a certain category that they call conspiracy theorists when it comes to this gig world. Now, you guys see the title of this is Civil War in the Gig World. So they say we got
Nice.
people that are logical thinking. We got people that just think outside the box. We got people all over the place. But they have put you guys into Brian by yourself, conspiracy theorists. Eli,
Wow.
they have put you into a category that says, like, you're not being real, you may be a poser. But they put you in the same category but try to separate you. I want to know, how does that feel as being known as both of those together in the same sequence when no one knows what's really going on?
Oh, let me answer that one. Okay.
Go ahead.
It's called conspiracy faxist, because when first of all, almost all of these so-called conspiracy theories are all ways to deflect the actual truth of what's actually going on to make the person look like a kook, or he's a liar or a fraud, when in fact that these facts can be backed up if people just open their eyes and open their ears and start researching some of the stuff that comes their way. Because I don't bring anything to my channel unless it's based on facts. I do have some opinions, but when I state facts, I'll let you know that they're facts. And I tell people all the time, if you just do the research, like for instance, the fact that the World Economic Forum is part of a big cabal that wants to bring in this fascistic, communistic, socialistic way of doing things. And part of it is through the technocracy that you're seeing through the gig apps. Okay. And the plan back in 1991, you can look all this stuff up. Okay. There's a whole bunch of different plans. One of them is the Cloward and Piven plan, Cloward and Piven. The other one is the Rockefeller lockstep plan. Okay. Look these all up and you'll see that there's facts there. But the World Economic Forum, almost all of the CEOs of all of the companies that we're working for have attended the World Economic Forum. They send these agendas out to the CEOs to push these agendas through. This is what you're seeing through the gig apps. So this is where my expertise in knowing about that comes into play. Then if you tie in the Jeff Thomas Black, because he focused on DoorDash and the singularity in the corporate AI, you tie both of them together and you got one big fact. Okay, it's not a conspiracy; it's a fact. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to clarify.
Brian.
Oh no, you got that. Now, Eli, for you to go ahead and get in on that, Eli, how he broke that down. It's conspiracy facts, not conspiracy theorists. Now, Eli, they say that you are piggybacking and you are posing to be on the side. How do you let them know that I agree and this is who I am, not what you think? How do you address that coming from your side?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Robert, because stemming off of what Brian said, this all stems to one thing, and I'm also going to read the definition. It's called blame shifting. And blame shifting, or blaming the victim, is a form of context switching and crazy making when you are confronting them on something they did or attempting to set boundaries. They switch the whole focus back to you and thus put you on the defensive. So in essence, Robert, what Brian is saying, and I completely agree, when you call people out on their shit, and they know they've been called out because they've been writing the lines of ethics to make money doing what they're doing. When you call them out on the truth, the last thing they want to do is give up their jig that's making them all that money, even though it's unethical or wrong, right? So what they'll do is they will blame shift and try to make you appear like you're the wrong one when in essence you're calling them out on exactly what they're doing. But does that make sense, Brian? You understand what I'm saying? Blame shifting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's part of it.
Yeah, blame shifting happens, but there is another side of blame shifting on where they kind of put, they put me in that one. Look, I've already been on that on that side. I'm just welcome all you guys to come and eat lunch where I got to eat lunch at. They've already done this to me. My next thing is about with going through all of that. There's something called being blackballed. Now, being that they, Brian just clarified, it's not conspiracy theory, it's conspiracy facts. So, but the people don't see it as facts. They see it as theories, and you guys are strange and weird. And I'm in that same group because they say this about hot facts. My whole thing is, how does it feel that even though you're giving this information out, that they throw you over and then they say that you guys are now going to be blackballed? How do you guys handle knowing that you are blackballed from most situations that you want to speak about?
Well, let me just
quick. Let me get in there. Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say this is that you can see the evidence of that being blackballed, because my channel, I've done the analytics and everything on my channel, and even going back to when I was a gamer back in 2016, which I really don't mention what it is because I left that in the past when I became a Christian in 2017, and I was saved by the Lord Jesus Christ. But anyways, the thing is that it blackballed as far as my channels go. My channels, I should probably have about 60 to 80,000 subscribers on my channel at this point after 2 years, and probably 30 million views. But I'm shadow banned on that channel. The only people that can find me is when I think it was, wasn't it you that Eli that did a search? You want to go ahead and tell them about the searches you did on my channels?
Oh yeah, when you go into the YouTube search bar on your phone or on your laptop or desktop, okay, it'll auto-populate. If you start keying in the first 2 or 3 letters or 4 letters of the channel you're seeking, it'll auto-populate. When you try to type in DoorDash sucks, it won't auto-populate. Gig apps exposed at times will come up, other times it won't auto-populate. Right. I haven't looked closely at your newest channel yet. It hasn't been around long enough. But yeah, they will shadow ban certain channels, from auto-populating, on YouTube and even on Google, because obviously, Google owns YouTube. So yeah, it's much harder for channels like ours to grow because they consider us conspiracy theorists or something, right? Or whatever, right?
Right. Well, there's another channel called, he used to be called Call for an Uprising. Great channel. He has a channel called Eye for an Eye. He's another one that gets shadow banned stuff because no one wants to hear the truth in reality what's going on. But the gig economy is only one part of that whole system that they've formed through that technocracy. There's so many other aspects of it. There's finance, there's agriculture, there's there's the gig economy, there's transportation, medical. I mean, it goes into a whole facet of things. But the one thing that they wanted to capture was the transportation sector, and they've done that because their plan is to make everyone basically either be on bicycles or not surfboards, skateboards or something. They don't even want us driving cars. But if we're going to drive cars, they want us to have electric cars while we're doing our driving. And in fact, Dara Khosrowshahi from Uber said in the Aspen, Colorado conference about 6 months ago, they asked him, well, what's your plans for the drivers of the future? And he says, well, we want to get everyone into electric cars. And the interviewer said, well, what happens if those drivers don't want to get into electric cars? And he said they will not be allowed on the platform. And they're going to spread that across all the delivery apps too. They're going to make sure that if you work for DoorDash or anything, that if you don't have an electric car, you will not drive for them, because they want to bring in the Agenda 2030 of going green. You can look all of this stuff up, folks. You want to talk about hot facts? These are the hot facts, right, Robin?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not making this stuff up. This is a reality. Like you got, and by the way, when these things do happen, you guys, good guys, will remember what I told you. And you say, that guy Brian told me this 5-6 years ago, and it's coming true. They want to bring in robots, autonomous cars, everything. And that's coming too. Even if we don't like it, we're going to try to force it on us and try to at least attempt to do it. It may not work, but they're going to try to do it. And that means the workforce is going to be cut down to about 10%. 90% of you will be out of jobs. There'll be 10% of you driving. Mark my words on that. You can take that.
Oh yeah, no, you're not lying, because as everything progresses, people got to start looking at, you know, how small it is now. The percentages are just going to get higher and higher and greater as, you know, we go on. You know, us, we're not going to be in that time. We'll be gone, but we're trying to make sure that the ones behind us ain't got to go through all that stuff, and, you know, and they can go ahead and benefit. I want to ask you guys both this now. Knowing that all this stuff has gone on, being that they say guilty by association, they say who you talk to, who you speak to, this and all of that. Do you guys think that, how you said, Brian, you should have about 80,000 subs? You will be on the boardroom soon. Just know. I just don't know if I'm going to do you as an episode with all three of your channels combined as one, or have it spread out with three separate. So, you know, so that's all I'm working on there. With that being said, you do this work, you speak, you get out there. Both you guys have a platform where you guys don't care about what anyone says. You say what you want to say. But some people say that you guys have ruined your image and your reputation. I would like to know from both of you guys separately on this answer. Has your reputation been ruined? And if so, how can it be saved? Or is it already saved?
Well, I think I'll speak.
Go ahead, Brian.
I'll speak on that real quick, and I'll say this is that I think that my credibility as the person I am and what I've told people ever since my channel began actually has more credibility now because of the fact of the glitch. Because way before the glitch, I was calling out people saying, you know, there's no way these people can be making this kind of money. Because first of all, I could sit here and name names. I'm not even going to do it right now. I'm just going to say that the channels that some of these channels said they make this, they make that. And when I went out and tried to do that in the markets that some of those people said they could do it, and tried it multiple times and I couldn't do it, then I thought there's something strange here. It doesn't make sense. Why aren't I getting the orders that these people are getting? So now and I'm not saying every single person was using a glitch. The glitch is the app. There is no real tricks and tips. If you know the glitch, you don't need to know any of it. It doesn't even matter if it's the 3-tier system, because that overrides all of it, including the large order program. If you have an ability to get all of the top, if they're sending all the orders to all the people that are high top dashes, right? I mean, then you're going to get a chance to get better offers. Now, take for instance someone who's not using the glitch, but they're recording videos and taking pictures and screenshots over the course of a few weeks, and they put together an edited video saying that, oh, I made $700 today. Oh, really? $700 with the way we have a economy that's bad. There's millions of drivers driving these apps, and I'm making half the money I made a year ago or 2 years ago. That's impossible. Now, I'm not saying you can't. There isn't days where someone can go out and make 300 or 400, but it's a very rare thing, and you have to be in a really good market, and you probably have to be using the glitch. Anyways, I'll give it back to you guys.
All right, Eli. So back to you. Because of how everything has gone in, you know, your image on how it's going out there, you know, if your image has taken a hit, can it be saved, or has it been saved already, or does it really matter? Floor's on you.
Great question and great response, Brian. First of all, and thank you for asking, Robert. You know, you were saying a second ago, in addition to what you just asked, you know, guilty by association. I've always firmly believed that you are who you associate with, and like attracts like. So an example, before we get to the other part about my reputation and what are my thoughts about it, you know, let's take Torp, for example, like we talked about earlier. Why did he flip? Did he really flip, or was he more so meant to associate with guys like Torp and Cherry because they are more like-minded than we think, because they're both struggling, or all three of them are struggling, in my opinion, just my opinion, because I'm not a doctor, with mental illness or PTSD or something of that sort, illiteracy or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? So they're more alike, you know, in their group compared to, when Torp was hanging around us, he was, apparently he must be different. And I'm not trying to say that in a bad way. I'm just saying, like attracts like. Now, when it comes to my reputation, honestly, I've always said this. I really don't give a shit about what anyone thinks about me. You can come back and say, well, as a life coach, how professional is that? How does that sound? This is 2023. This is not 1970, 1980, where we're all wearing suits and we're all talking like, we're sucking each other's, what's, right? Remember back in the days, Robert, people were overly nice and overly professional, right? And now if you come off that way, people will say, what are you trying to sell me? Because if you're too nice nowadays, like people were back in the days, people think you're trying to, sell them something or, convince them that you're worthy of being purchased from, right? So for me, Robert and Brian, I'm not for everyone. And I don't think people that, want a presence on social media, I don't think they should focus on, everyone liking them. They should focus on their purpose, what they enjoy doing, and attracting the right audience. So I've got an audience of people that like, what I do and support me and enjoy my streams and videos. And then I have a whole other side that's, the complete opposite, right? And what it all boils down to is focusing on the right side. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say, yep. So with all that being said from the both of you, acceptance does not matter to either of you because you accept yourselves, and that's all you care about in a nutshell.
Well,
and I think you're the same way. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I just wanted to say this. Forgive me because I'm actually driving right now, so I got to pay attention to the road. But the only person that I should really care. I mean, when I say that, I care about everyone. But what I'm saying is the only person I should really care about is the person who created me and the person who I know I'm going to be with forever in heaven. And that's Jesus Christ. And he's, the one I focus on a daily basis. However, I have to live in this life and I have to do things, so if you're trying to keep the commandments of God, the 10 commandments, and have a relationship with him, and you are trying to do right by your fellow man and trying to help them, then what more can, if you have God with you, who can be against you, right? Because he's the only one that matters. So anyways, go ahead, back to you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got you. My next thing is here. Now that we know, DoorDash has these issues that we all know that, that needs to be fixed. And when I say DoorDash, I'm using DoorDash as the name, but every other gig app out there, it's under the umbrella also. So we want to go into this right here. How to fix, okay? How do we fix the drivers, the pay, and the hours? And I want to get this from each of you. How do we fix what's going on now? How do we fix it from the drivers, the dollars, and the hours?
You first, Eli.
Oh, thanks, Brian. That's a loaded question, Robert. That's like the question of the century, right? We need to, first of all, get past phase one and start phase two. And what is phase one? It's everything that, we've been doing, Brian, Jeff Thomas Black, myself, Glitch Dash, Thomas Schubeck, you, Robert, and a few other people that have understood, what's been going on here. Phase one was basically making people aware of the glitch, exposing the glitch, and that way, we make it a more level playing field for everyone. Because when the people, when the people that didn't know about the glitch were going out there, they had an unfair disadvantage, compared to the people that, knew about the glitch, right? So we exposed that. Then you have content creators, and I say this respectfully because I'm really trying to be respectful to everyone, including Pedro and all of them. And he may be going a different direction, but Pedro made a lot of money in ad revenue, right? And he made a lot of money in ad revenue because he glitched up, and he basically was telling people that acceptance rate matters in 2023, Top Dasher matters. You need to take crappy orders to, get your AR up to 50 or 70%. So that way you can get better orders. While, he was glitching up and not taking any crappy orders. And then he comes out with videos saying, I made $2,000 this week in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm like, none of that added up. Brian, real quick, none of that added up when Pedro was making the $2,000 and all that, right? So this was phase one. Phase one was exposing the lies and manipulation and fraud of the companies, the glitch, and exposing the fluffer nutter creators. Now we've played that out, and I've been trying. Go ahead, Robert. What were you saying? Oh, the fluffer nutter. Oh, he's laughing at fluffer nutter. Okay, you're muted. He's laughing at fluffer nutter. I can't hear you, Robert. Robert, we can't hear you, but I heard you. I saw your lips say fluffer nutter. He's laughing, but we
is your mic working, Robert?
Yeah, no. Whenever you say fluffer nutter, man, I have a tendency to laugh, and I was trying to hold steady on camera, but I could not help it, and I laughed, and I broke character. I had my mute on, so you didn't hear me laugh. But I was laughing when I heard fluffer nutter, man. Like, I'm just letting you guys know that is something that's something that'll make me crack up. So when you said it, I just went into laughter. So.
Dude, I couldn't stop laughing. I still can't stop laughing. But when I first heard it, I was like, I couldn't stop saying it all day, every day. I was going to my girlfriend Dawn saying fluffer nutter every third word, and she wanted to kill me. But anyway, it was Brian. You got to trademark that, Brian.
I'll give you the record, Eli. Look, I was watching one of your lives, and in about 2 minutes, you said fluffer nutter like 25 times. So you are the king of using the term. I'm giving it to you. It's yours.
Well, I have a lot of love for Brian.
I got tears in my
honestly, I think. Yeah. Well, thank you, Robert. I'll tell you, man. I love all you guys, but Brian was the one that introduced me to all of you. If it wasn't for Brian, I wouldn't know any of you. We wouldn't even be here today. So I really have to thank this man. And so,
but how are we going to fix it, though, Eli? How are we going to fix it? How?
Okay.
I'm asking you. How do we fix from the drivers to the dollars and the hours for what? Because it takes a driver to make money, and it takes hours for a driver to make the money. So I'm trying to, let me hear from you. How does, and I just say DoorDash as just an overall umbrella for gig apps, period. But how do we fix this so we can actually move forward? And I'm trying to see how we go from the driver to the dollars to the hours being spent on the road. How do we fix that, Eli? What's your, let's go into that with you. How, what do you got put in there to say if we do it like this, we can fix it?
Phase 2 needs to start, and we need to start now. And what phase 2 is starting to lobby. And first of all, we need to get a collective of people together, hopefully the entire gig community out here on YouTube, maybe go out to Reddit, get them involved. And we need to lobby for better rights, contact, our congressmen, etc., contact politicians. But also, there was a group out there called Gig Workers of America that I reached out to. I saw them on Reddit. This one gentleman that drives, I believe he's down in Southern California in your area, and I can't remember his name. I have to find the information. He started a group called Gig Workers of America, where he feels that, gig workers should unionize. And while I've never really believed in unions, I think a union may actually be a good thing for gig workers. So we need to take the next step and all start to work together, because and you correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, the more and more we fight, the more and more the companies win. Because if we all got together and fought these companies, we would destroy them, because without us, they have no business. You understand? So it is within DoorDash's and Uber's best interest to keep us apart, because then we can't get together to fight for what's right. Does that make sense?
No, it does. It does in a way, because without the drivers, you can't get it to, you can't have the transport, but without the customer, you can't have the supply. So, you got to look at it, or the demand. The demand is what I would say. Now, Brian, I'm going to throw this over to you. You know, how do we fix it from the drivers to the dollars and the hours? And now I know that you are someone that has done the research to know how many hours a driver should be out there on the road, you know, money coming in and everything. So let me know from your point of view, how is it that these gig apps can fix what's going on from these standpoints?
Okay, so this is a tough question, but I'll have to answer it in two parts. So
All right.
on the one hand, okay, from a realistic view, if people want change, they have to help bring the change. Change doesn't just happen from people sitting back on their couch and saying, "Oh, let Brian do it," or "Let Robert do it," or any of us out here. The reason I'm sitting in the seat that I'm in is because I've been directly affected by these gig apps. I didn't do this for any of, well, there is another reason, a spiritual reason, but I already talked about that. But like, the thing is that I want retribution. I want the drivers to get back some of the money that got ripped off from them. I want, there's massive lawsuits right now going against DoorDash. I did a video on my channel, and I follow Rideshare Professor closely because he really does a really good job on a lot of overall stuff. Because my channel was not just based on DoorDash; it was based on the entire gig economy. However, I never thought I would ever bump into Jeff Thomas Black. I learned about him through Torp. And it was like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich coming together, because when I saw his research and my research, I'm like, wow, it really lines up. So the answer is, look in the mirror. The answer starts with you, with every single driver out here. If you want change, you need to become active. And this is what I tried to get Pedro to do when I went on his live streaming, try to, explain to him that and he's like, "Oh, I don't do that type of stuff." He didn't say it in the video. He said it like privately or with me on the phone or whatever. But the point of it is that each of us should be, no one really wants to engage the senators and the congressmen and all that, but you need to. You need to write them letters. You need to picket outside the state house and say, "Hell no, we're not going to take this anymore," and get on the news. Okay, because eventually, if that catches wind and fire, then they have no choice but to cover that stuff. However, the dark side of doing that is the plan for the cloud and Piven plan, okay, that I spoke to you about earlier, and these other different plans, is that they have contingency plans to make sure that there's certain things in place that would thwart our efforts. In other words, they would even crash and burn their own companies to the ground, because they've already fleeced America, and they're fleecing the world right now in 26 to 28 different countries. Okay, because if they lose here, right, they'll just go to other countries until they drain as many people as they can. They might say, "Well, why are they doing that? What, they don't want to make profit?" Well, it's not about profit. It's about control. It's about controlling human beings through AI. It's really hard to understand that if you haven't done the research on it. But I have. That's what the technocracy is about. So people need to learn about that. So there's two sides to it. What are we supposed to do? Just sit around and continue to have them drop the base pays down to zero, and now we're working for just tips? I mean, at what point do you say to yourself, enough is enough? We're not going to take this anymore. So
Right.
basically, okay, go ahead, Robert. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was saying right. I was agreeing with you there. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that if people don't become active in the gig space, and I mean, if you care about your job, even if you're a part timer, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you're full or part time. It's affecting you now. It's going to affect you even more. And as we get towards 2025, that is when and that's not even the end of it. 2030 is their real goal. But they want to do all of these things to make it so, okay, you don't want to do what we want you to do. Well, we're going to bring in the electric, we're going to bring in the autonomous cars, we're going to bring in the robots. I have a Taco Bell in my area that actually is fully run by robots, and only 1 or 2 people are in there, and it can serve the people, bring out I mean, it's crazy. I should take videos of it to show you guys one of these days.
Do it. Do that right there. No, you do that. I guarantee that's going to help your channel out, because you're going to have some robot factual help right there. Now, I got to ask you guys both this. What is the worst case? All right, if you can think of everything that's going on right now, I need both of you to answer this. What is the worst case situation? And I'm going to start with just DoorDash, because DoorDash seems to be doing the most to the drivers out there. What is the worst case situation for DoorDash and drivers. Who wants to go first?
You mean as far as now? You mean worst case scenario of what?
All right,
happen?
for what it is now, and we know we have all these variables in, and we're like, we need it to be better and change now, but we're like, it's gonna go downhill. What is gonna make it so it's the worst case scenario? You know, think of where it is now and think of where it could possibly be. What is the worst case scenario? Who wants to go first?
I'll go. I'll say this, that you got to understand too. This is another word that maybe some of you may not understand. You may, Robert, people who understand what totalitarianism is. A little totalitarian tiptoe. Okay, they bring a little bit forward, then people push back, and they push back a couple of inches, but they've already taken 3 inches. You understand? So they do everything slowly, because if they did everything real fast, people would never take it. So they slowly inject certain things. That's why that thing like Herbivore, like that Pedro and Hannibal and all those guys went out to California. It's out where you are. Herbivore was all about showing off all of the AI. Do you remember the video that they did on that over on Pedro's channel? Herbivore.
Oh yes.
It was all about AI and technology and autonomous vehicles and robots. And it's like the thing that pissed me off about that is that like Pedro was going along with it. Hey guys, this is something we should really. This is the end of your job. This is the end of humanity, really, if you think about it. Because if you guys only knew. Listen, I had the CEO in my car when I was doing rideshare from Boston Dynamics. Okay, that builds those robots, and I got a little inside look into that with him. But like, there's certain things he couldn't tell me about because there's certain things I can't say here. But I'm telling you, man, if you guys only knew what the future is going to be, it's not a good one for the drivers for sure. But what I'm saying is, overall, yes, you should be doing something about it. You should be fighting for your rights. You should be out there. I mean, look, take a Saturday and get a group together and go in front of the State House and picket and say, whatever you got to do, talk to people on the phone, call your senators, call your congressmen, and say, hey, we're getting screwed here. We need you to change things. I mean, they're working for us, right? I mean, this is a democracy, right? Well, if 49%, what is it? 2 wolves and a sheep fighting over for what's for dinner? That's what they call democracy, right? 2 wolves and a sheep fighting over what's for dinner, right? And who's going to win that battle? But the point of it is enough sheep stand up, we could make changes. We really could. So that it's a give and take, and it's two set answers there. Anyways, did that kind of answer it for you?
Yeah, that is fine. And Eli, I want to get you in. I know you're doing your thing. I want to get you in. Well, before Eli gets back on in, because that was my last question there. Well, actually, one of my last ones. The very last one was going to be about. I was going to ask Eli about this John Billings thing. All right, because I know I'm pretty. Because look, I interviewed John Billings, great kid, father, Christian dude, going out doing what he's doing, and he put Utah on the map in an area where people were like, "You don't make money in Utah," and he's out there making money in Utah. So because he had an opinion about like everybody else did with the whole glitch thing and conspiracy theories and all that, there's something going on. There's something going on with John Billings, and I was trying to figure out what's going on with him. But Eli is back, so don't answer about John Billings right now, Eli. I want to get you back on what and Brian just gave a magnificent answer and broke it down.
I'll be
I heard it.
I got to do something for a quick second. I'll be here listening. Okay?
All right.
But
Yep. So the same question for you, Eli. For everything that's going on right now in the gig space, and I'm going to use DoorDash for what it is right now. From your opinion, what is the worst case scenario that can happen? And I'm using DoorDash because it seems to do the most with the drivers out there, but I'm speaking about the gig apps in whole. What is the worst case scenario right now? From your own
answer,
opinion.
Robert, can you hear me okay? Can you hear me clearly?
Yep.
Okay. First of all, again, thank you for being understanding. My lady's not feeling too well today, so I appreciate you guys being understanding. I think the worst is already starting to happen, and it's gonna get worse if we don't do something. And that's a little thing or a big thing called severe inflation. And I've been talking a lot about this through my streams. I saw this happening after I started to drive, last year for about a month or two. I started to really understand how much DoorDash's 15 to 30% merchant fee that they charge the merchants. Most of them are probably paying 25 to 30% because they want the best placement on the ad. They want, the ability to dispatch and all that stuff, right? So what's happening is because of that, merchants have to raise their rates to still be profitable, because from what I've heard from people in the restaurant industry, that profit margins are very low. So with this type of luxury service being offered to everyone, even people that really can't afford it, it's basically forcing businesses, restaurants, other merchants like supermarkets and stuff to not only raise their prices while you're using the DoorDash or Uber service, you're seeing prices skyrocket going into the store to do the shopping yourself or picking up the food yourself, right? Do you think gas prices were affected by this? Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you do know that here in California, that when Prop 22 was introduced here, there was also another bill put in place in law that I've gone over here on Hot Facts, that however inflation goes, when inflation increases, then the people here in the state, they get an extra guarantee on their hourly minimum wage because of inflation. Now, that's something that we have fought for and put up here. Are you aware of that? And if you are aware of that, is this something that these other states should be putting in? Some people say that, well, California is going to make it all crash for everyone, but they're going based upon the income in the state and what's going in being taxable goods and everything else that we have to transport and do everything else like that. So with that being said, they're saying that if inflation goes up more than what it is, I think it's over like 40% of what it is, then instantly the people in the gig world who are doing jobs like this, they get paid more because inflation is going up. Go ahead.
Well, I didn't hear about that specifically, but what I think it's referring to is, part of Prop 22 is being guaranteed 120% of the minimum wage in the city of where we pick up the order, whether it's, food or whether it's shop and pay or whatever. And that's 120% of the minimum wage in that city per active hour that you're on the app.
Yeah, no. But just keep that all the way there. And just understand that when inflation goes up and the cost of everything goes up, we already have in law set up that whenever things go up like this, it's an automatic increase for the people driving in the gig world to get paid more per hour. We already have that set up. Now, this is something that we need put in place for a lot of other drivers out there. And I think more gig content creators out there, when they go out there and do and they do their videos, they need to understand exactly what they're trying to report on, because it's in place here in California. Now, other states also have it. I've done the news on it. And when inflation goes up, you get paid more. Now, it's a pro and a con, because some drivers and gig workers want things to cost more because they're going to get paid more. Now, if that happens, are you going to be going for broke and inside that little spider web that gets all the blood sucked out of you? You got to think about that also. You know what I mean? You got to think about that also. But inflation is one thing. And if inflation goes up, it's mandatory that you got to start paying people more. Mandatory. Now, let me ask you this, Eli. The John Billings thing, man. I interviewed him, did my thing. You felt that he shouldn't have been up there, but he's doing a great job. He has put Utah on the map, and because of the conspiracy theory thing, and he spoke out against, He's being trashed. He's a young man with a kid and a family. He's doing his own thing. What is the thing that made John Billings turn into the unwholesome gentleman instead of being the wholesome gentleman? What is it that turned him the opposite way? Because I woke up and
Great
I'm like,
question.
dang, John Billings is in the bad news. What happened?
Well, Robert, I'm glad you asked. It was kind of funny because the same thing happened when I shared a video that Zach Drives Fast put out on my community post, and he responded after tagging him in, and he goes, "Who the hell are you?" And I said, "I'm glad you asked." And then I responded who I was. I love when people say, "Who the hell are you, Robert?" That's the best thing, right, Brian and Robert? Because you've gotten their attention, and now they're curious, right? I think, people are who they are. I don't think people necessarily change, on a dime just like that. I don't think John Billings really flipped or anything by what he put out yesterday in his video. I think he finally came out and said exactly how he's been feeling all along. Because on one hand, he was coming at Pedro, calling him out. Next thing you know, Pedro silences him. And then now he's, coming at us. It's like flip flop back and forth. I think a lot of it has to do.
Well, he didn't necessarily go at you. He brought out Glitch Dash and Jeff Thomas Black. So this is where the Civil War, the title of this, of this stream is in. He spoke about, two people, and then you just said yourself he spoke about us. So I'm trying to figure out what is the Civil War. And I would like for everyone else out there to know, what are the two sides and what do both sides represent? So if anybody else just comes and looks at a video, they can understand. And I want to ask this for the both of you guys. What are the two sides? And from your own opinions, what do both sides represent?
Let me say something here.
Go ahead, Brian.
Okay, so who knows if my stream will go out? I'm on the highway right now driving, but anyways, you're talking about the two sides, the one opposite of the other. You're talking about like our community and the other community, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, how our community is split. Yes.
Okay, so you got to understand something that this. I'm sorry you said.
I cannot hear anything Brian's saying right now.
He must be going through a tunnel or something. Hold up. It's Brian. I'm going to mute you, Brian.
I'll respond until he gets back into.
I got Brian on mute. Brian, when you get into a clear spot, I'll go ahead and or you go ahead and unmute you. But you were in a spot where you sound like RoboCop the whole time.
Sorry,
Robert. All right. Go ahead and talk, Brian, so we can hear if you're clear.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you now.
Okay, so basically, you have content creators that were making content, some of them, not all of them, that were making up lies and telling people how to take, you should take Top Dasher and all this other stuff, right? So we were deceived by that. So now that information's out there. So now that changes the face of how they can do things moving forward, because they're going to be held accountable from their own subscribers, or at least some people that know about it, say, hey, how come you're not showing us a live stream? Why are you editing the videos? Oh, you made $700? Well, prove it. We want to see proof that you made $700 today, not like the ones that Trevor's Deliveries does, because he's a guy that probably doesn't even use the glitch, but he lies to his audience by making up edited videos to make you think that he can make 700 when no one else can. So you got that side of it. Then the other side is the people who were pissed off because that glitch was exposed, because that ruins their operation. Because now it's going to reduce money that they can make. But
Oh, it looks like he got cut off, Robert, and I can't even hear you. Do you want me to respond? I have a thought if you want me to. I can't hear you, Robert. Go ahead.
I was trying to mute him because he was breaking up, and I did that on accident. Let me see if he's backstage still. That was an accident, Brian. Here he is. Let me go ahead and bring him right back up. That was an accident.
Okay.
I was trying to hit mute because it.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha
Okay.
now.
So on the flip side of the whole thing, what I was saying is that because the content creators that were making the fluffernutter content have been exposed, now they can't do they can't do that content anymore, because where else is there room to go? What tips and tricks can you teach us when we know that there's a glitch you can use to make the money? You don't need to use anything else but the glitch. So of course they're going to be pissed, and they don't like people talking about it, and that's why John Billings is trying to defend that, because that's going to ruin his content going forward. When all you have to do is be an honest person, and people will like you if you tell the truth. Anyways, back to you guys.
All right,
I got a response to that too, Robert.
Eli, the floor is on you. Yeah, break down the John Billings thing. It's on you.
Well, this is in general, not just John. So I'll say what I think John is, what he's, where he's coming from, and where all these guys are coming from that are coming at us. They're coming from what I like to call a scarcity mindset. We have a community here, right? And there's plenty to go around for everyone. And if you believe in the law of abundance, like I believe you do believe in the law of abundance, Robert, same with you, Brian. I believe there's plenty of abundance to go around for everyone in this community and in everything. But these guys are running from a scarcity mindset, and their thought process is, if we don't take these guys out, there's not going to be enough left for us here, whether it's by views, monetized playbacks, popularity, whatever. And these guys are coming at it and looking at it from more of a popularity contest than actually wanting to work together to lobby for better gig rights. These people are out here more for YouTube entertainment content than actually fighting for the better cause. Does that make sense?
Hey, I want to jump in. Can I jump in real quick? Because you just said,
go ahead.
He just said something really important. This is what screws me up and screws up a lot of people is why the answer to this is an easy answer. Why aren't these content creators trying to help the rest of the community to come together and fight the monster that's in the living room, which is a big elephant, which is DoorDash and these companies? Well, the answer is easy, because their lives have been pretty easy up till now because of the glitch. But now you take the glitch away from them, and it doesn't make them any magic anymore. But all along, if they helped us fight against the cause, maybe we could have helped everyone. But that's where selfishness comes in, where people are greedy and selfish because they want everything for themselves and not for other people. And this is what I can't understand is, why don't you want to help your fellow drivers? There's some people that care about people and others that don't. Well, I happen to care about people. So that's why I exist. That's why I'm here. Back to you guys.
All right. Well, you know what? That was everything there that I wanted to get on off. We got TFT here. TFT is the deputy of my channel. TFT has been rocking with me from the beginning of Hot Facts. TFT even knows about the Lone Ranger. A lot of you guys don't know that I have an alter ego, and the Lone Ranger comes out, and TFT has heard his voice many of times, because he does the Lone Ranger does the right thing. Now, my deputy TFT, for those of you who don't know, it's TFT. I don't say his real name. I don't even call him his real name, even on the phone. It's only his real name is only in my phone for his name, but it's TFT. This is who he is. This is the face of the man. TFT, I know Eli was calling you your whole title, TFT Rookirk or whatever it was. He was calling you that the whole time. Run Rick. I call him TFT.
Rurik.
Yeah. So I call him,
back in the old Winnie the Pooh days, the kangaroo Roo. It's that, and then the name Rick put together. Roo Rick. Period.
Roo Rick.
Nice.
But I call him TFT. This is my deputy, and you know, we're at the end of the interview, but whenever he feels that he wants to interject himself about something that, you know, we spoke about some good topics here. So I'm gonna just let TFT go ahead and give his rundown.
Honestly, I was focusing more on chat, and I was honestly focusing more on the chat than most of the questions that were being said. But when I chimed in here and got online, you guys were talking about the glitch. You were talking about this and talking about how supposedly this acceptance rate glitch is allowing us to make even more money, which is a load of fucking crap. Yep. It's an acceptance rate glitch. All it does is allow you to artificially boost your acceptance rate. It is not allowing you to get extra orders or better or higher paying orders. All it does is allow you to inflate your acceptance rate. All right. Now, I've never used this glitch, but I have dabbled with it for one day here in my market after everybody been talking about it. And in my market, literally, there is nothing but me sitting here twiddling my damn thumbs, getting rid of orders. Now, for us in California, we run things a little different than most of you guys in other states because we have Prop 22 as that safety net, paying us for extra mileage, paying us for extra active time. All right. So a lot of us can get away with taking lower dollar orders, lower tipped orders, and still make damn good money. Now, myself,
usually,
I still, with today, even though today, and I started during the height of the pandemic, where it was absolutely nothing to make $300-400 a day in my market anyway. I make less, yes. Takes me a little longer to get to 300 a day now, but I still make $300 a day. I still receive tons of cash tips, and I take occasionally low dollar orders here and there. Like for instance, a day or two ago, before my wife went to the hospital, I took a no tip large order. One reason, I knew where it was going, and that's the area I wanted to be. The minute I drop that order off, I get hit with a $30 order, non-large order program, just regular order. Because I knew I wanted to be in that area and I knew I was going to get something. That's the reason I expressed, don't decline an order just because it doesn't have a tip or only has a couple of a dollar or two. Look at where it's going. Know your market.
Yeah.
If you know your market and you know where you're going, that dollar a mile order is probably going to could potentially lead you to a $30, $40 order, $40, $50 order. That doesn't even have anything to do with me being here.
Yeah.
Sorry,
can I jump in real quick?
Oh, by all means, Brian.
I just want to say this. Come to my market, and you won't make more than 100 to 150 a day if you're lucky in my market.
Same here.
I mean,
everybody's market's different. I'm down here in Fresno, California.
No, I get it.
We are extremely oversaturated with top dashers, and I can still manage to make $200, $300 a day.
Well, okay,
how many hours a day are you working?
Well, wait a minute.
I work 8 to 10 hours tops.
Okay.
Most of the time, it's only 8. And I only work 5 days a week.
Right. But the point of it is that 90% of America cannot do what you guys do out in California.
Not saying they could. Never did.
Right.
I've always stressed that what works for me in my market may not work for you and yours.
I'm glad you said that, TFT, because I wish that the content creators who create the content would actually come out with a disclaimer at the beginning of their video and saying, hey, I'm going to show you how to make $2,000 in a couple of days. But remember, you aren't going to make it in your market. That would be fine, but they don't do that.
Well, I can agree, but you got to remember, there are our content creators like Pedro. He may not say it every single video, but I am going to use Pedro as an example here because he has said that many times and throughout his videos that I've seen since I've been doing this.
Well,
what works for him in his market may not work for yours. Yeah, same. I haven't really watched a lot of the other ones like Nugs and whatnot, but I mean I've seen a video here and there. But most of those videos that talk about those challenges, making thousands of dollars in a week or whatever, I take everything with I see like that with a grain of salt. Because I know they may be in a far better market than I am. Not everywhere is the same. No two drivers are the same. The only thing in this industry that is universal, will work anywhere and everywhere, no matter what city, what market you're in, is having good customer service and providing yourself with the equipment you need for success.
Yeah, real quick, let me get in here for a second. My brother went to Fresno State University, so I know the area. You got a new shopping area in the Blackstone area, and you guys have a lot of good stuff. Fresno's really expanded over the last 10 to 20 years, man. So you guys have a lot of great new restaurants. So you're very fortunate. And here in the Bay Area, we've had that for a while, but I could not make the money what you're making out there working 12 hours. In 12 hours, if I was lucky, I would make $180, $150.
Well, TFT don't work 12. Well, TFT don't work 12 hours. He does 8 to 10, and then some of those 8s they turned into 6. They turned into 6.
Yeah.
So it just depends on how the day goes.
Yeah.
You know how it's going on, but it's all market dependent. I want to thank all of you guys for having the time to step on here. At the end of every single live, I want to make sure that we get these final words out. Eli, I'm gonna start with you. Go ahead and get your final words out with the people. I'm gonna go to Brian there and end with TFT.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me again, Robert. And like Brian was saying earlier, and I was trying to say it as well, my apologies for any misunderstanding in the past. I think that we're heading on the right path. We need to head to phase 2 and start to really, lobby and fight for, better gig workers' rights, because I honestly feel over the next 5 to 10 years, the majority of jobs are going to go to apps on smartphones like Android and Apple, iPhone. And if we don't change laws for, AI to be more regulated, then, the same thing's going to happen that DoorDash is doing. Now, I understand some people are in a good market like TFT is in Fresno. There's like over 200,000 people there. It's almost like a San Francisco almost. So there are going to be, oh my God, there's 500,000 there now. Good Lord, man, where have I been? They've grown that fast now. So you got a city of 500,000, and I know it's saturated, but there's a lot more opportunity in a bigger city than in a suburbia type of area. And so, honestly, I just think we need to all start to work together, respect each other more. We need to all be honest and transparent, and that's where I like to see things go. Besides that, thank you for having me, Robert. I look forward to what the future holds.
Okay, can I step in and say something real quick?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
The floor is yours, Brian. Brian, okay. The floor is yours. It's all your final words. It's all your final words. It's on you.
There couldn't be many possibly. I mean, there's so many hours in a day and so many minutes in this interview, but there's so many things I could say. But I just want to touch on the glitch real fast. As I've never tried the glitch, I've never used it, so I can't speak from that. But I can only speak from what other people, the research that I've done on it and stuff. And the thing about the glitch is it does, I mean, if I have a video that's on my channel that was done by UDM, and they all had a group meeting, and in that meeting, they talked about how it helps with the flow of orders. It may not give you the best, but Richard himself, Richard from Sin City Deliveries, he actually said early on, a year and a half ago, or whatever, on his channel, that if you have, say, supposedly, technically, if you have 99% Dasher and someone's a 98 or 97, an order, and he was just talking on a regular basis, not even about the glitch, because we didn't know about the glitch at the time. But he said those orders are designed to go to the first, because he goes, what's the tiebreaker? 99%, that one of the drivers should get whatever order. It doesn't mean you're going to get a better order. It gives you a better chance to see the flow of orders. And it starts at 50% and then 70%, and anything over 70% is ludicrous, because even if you have 100%, you only need to have it over 70 to send you the other orders that would be funneled into you. Now that's not using the glitch, that's just having it as a regular top dasher. But now you put the glitch in there. How do we know there isn't some back end thing that's created to actually send you? So if you're on the large order program, you might get something better on a large order program scale, when a regular driver is not going to see that. Now, anyways, I just wanted to touch on that. And I want to say thank you, TFT, for telling us about California and stuff, because it is totally a different market. than it is out here. If you come out
No,
here,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Rev and I are got similar markets, but even his market is different than mine.
right. You come out here, you'll probably
Yeah.
end up homeless in a few months, except unless, in other words, you were talking about how you need to know your market. See, I know my market. I can survive here, but I can't thrive out here, you know, and
Right.
there's a lot to it, man. I mean, so 2
Yeah,
years.
no, there's a lot to it in every market, no matter what you do. I mean, if you know your market well enough, you'll be able to survive. Yeah, you may not be able to prosper,
Right.
without doing something extra. Like going investing or having a W-2 on the side, but even if it's just a part-time job, but
Right.
you're still going to be able to thrive if you have the drive and motivation to do so. The gig apps alone are like Pedro says, I'm going to use them again for an example. They are a stepping stone. They are not meant to be a long-term, full-time career.
Well, that's true, and even the World Economic Forum has talked about that. It's a short-lived thing for all of us. They even say, like, you know, is it really going to happen? Well, they're going to try to make that agenda 2030 happen by 2030 to get only 10% of the drivers to be working. Whether they succeed, we'll have to see, right? But
Yeah, that all depends on us, the drivers.
well, that's it. And at least people, all I ever wanted was people to have the knowledge of that so they could make better decisions going forward and things like that, you know. So anyway, I'm going to step away from the, so I want to thank right
at the end, it go to RoboCop.
Breaking up pretty bad.
Yeah, at the end, it go to RoboCop.
Robert, before Brian goes, can I say one final thing about Prop 22? I want to say one thing. He's cutting out about Prop 22 real quick. I firmly believe that every state here in the U.S. should have, at the very least, similar benefits that we have here in California through Prop 22. Do I think Prop 22 is good? Yes, but I think they can do a lot better. It's better than having nothing, but it's still not good enough, in my opinion. That's all.
All right. Now, TFT, go ahead. Because I know you have something to say. Do that, and then take us out with them final words, my main man.
Amen. Amen.
I commend Brian for his statement and wanting to get the knowledge out there. I commend Eli for coming on here and having the conversation you all have had.
Thank you.
And I commend all the viewers who are being respectful. The ones who aren't, well, you already know what I think.
They can F themselves.
Honestly, in this day and age, no matter what year it was, 1950 or 2050, it doesn't freaking matter. One thing is always going to be true in this world as long as we were alive. You must give respect to get it. Respect must be given freely. Trust is where it must be earned. That will never change in this life or the next. With that being said, I'll step out with my final words like I usually always do. If you're going to do a job, do it right. Get the equipment if you need it for whatever job you're doing. Stay safe out there. Make your money the way you need to make it, and have a blessed day.
Thank you, brother. Robert, anything else you want from me? I'm the last one here, brother.
Oh, well, no, you ain't the last one here, because check this out, Eli. You gotta stay until I finish it off. I'm about to give my last and my final words out right here. For people out there, if you guys wanted to know how to go ahead and if you guys want to know how to go ahead and conduct the show, do something. I read the comments there. Some people said that how can I go out there and I can do this, and we warned you about Eli. Well, there's something called professionalism, and when there are things going on into a certain realm, you were able to put differences aside to go out there and speak, to bring the realness out there, and to let everybody hear what's going on. Everybody don't have the same brain, and I don't want all of you guys to have the same brain. We got to listen to other people so that we can understand and how to maintain. If you ain't listening, you ain't walking in a straight line. That's all I got to say. Go ahead and do what you got to do to get your own peace of mind. I'm Hot Facts with Robert Reese, and we out of here like Chuck Woolery in 2 and 2. Peace out.
Peace out. Thank you guys. Bye.